All right, welcome back to another episode of another VOD of Tangle Tower. If you've seen the last episode, this is a direct continuation. I just started and stopped it so that the recording doesn't get too bloated, and that if I lose it, it's easier to just snip out whatever. But yeah, just wanted to do that real quick. So we're gonna keep going. Straight after we did that, and I'm gonna continue going around the horn and getting some stuff together. So let's go talk to Hawkshaw. Also, I wanted to say that I'm actually shocked that Fitz is not cheating. That's actually more surprising to me than the other answer. Though I guess they still could be. That could still be possible. But I'm glad it's not. It's just, again, I don't necessarily think Penny is overreacting necessarily, because when I walked in here, that's totally what I thought was going on.
Professor Pointer is a respectable astronomer. Keeps himself to himself. What?
Does he?
We're just surprised.
That was the most polite you've been about anyone.
I find her rather embarrassing. Little more than a spoiled child.
Penny must be at least 25.
27. Just makes it worse.
Your poor
Poppy
wife.
has remarkable musical talent. She could be famous, wealthy even, if she wanted to.
She'd probably have to leave Tangle Tower first.
Quite. This is a potential murder weapon, is it not?
I don't know. I don't think the murderer would leave the murder weapon just lying around.
I think you'd be surprised as to what people leave lying around. Where did you find this?
Do you have any theories about where this might have been?
Or who might have had it.
I have several theories, but they are my theories, and I'm not going to share them.
Me.
3 birds, 1 cage. What makes them worth keeping cooped up, I wonder? Would they not be happier flying free?
But then they might fly away from Tangle Tower entirely.
I wonder if they would. Some breed of amphibious humanoid. Potentially bipedal. Although none of the statues show the creature's feet.
I guess we'll never know.
These people really are ridiculous, aren't they?
Yeah.
You consider that important evidence, do you? Is that a clue?
Dunno. It was important enough to be framed, though.
I framed my law degree, doesn't make it a clue.
Same?
Yeah.
Who's that?
Not sure. It doesn't
We
really look
know.
like anyone we've met so far.
Strange.
We know.
Do you also have a pile of leaves as a clue?
Oh, not yet. Did you see some suspicious leaves?
One of 3 statues depicting the same creature. This one is wearing headphones. Perhaps they belong to someone who likes music.
They're not headphones. They're earmuffs. For blocking out sound.
Perhaps they belong to someone who doesn't like music.
Actually, you're so funny. Anyway, the earmuffs, I think I forgot to say too, is I think I'm pretty positive someone stole them from Fitz with the intention of blocking noise so that they could, whatever sonic thing happened, whatever loud noise happened that made, that exploded everything and cracked everything. I'm positive it's related.
Name, Percival Pointer. Age, 57. Profession, none.
I'm pretty sure he's an astronomer.
Oh yes, of course. How uncharacteristically forgetful of me.
Mm-hmm.
Name, Penelope Pointer. Age, 27. Profession, ornithologist. Likes, birds. Dislikes, insects. Notes, Penelope is very beautiful. I have never had very much in common with her.
Aww.
Name, Poppy Pointer. Age, 19. Profession, Apparently Poppy has defaced my notes. Under profession, I had of course originally written pianist, but she has crossed that out and written the ghost of Christmas yet to come. is interesting. Where did you find it?
In the astronomy tower.
And yet, it does not concern the field of astronomy.
Nope.
In fact, you could even say that entomology is the exact opposite of astronomy.
Yeah, you could.
I would not say that, however.
Oh, you wouldn't?
No, it would be quite naive. To study science in any field is to study the connections between all matter in the universe, living or inanimate.
All right.
I am scared of birds.
Why?
It is an irrational fear. I have no suitable explanation.
Oh,
There's so many dislike of people's preferred hobbies, which is so funny.
Why did Poppy leave shards of glass all over this statue?
What makes you think it was Poppy?
The statue lives in the music room. Who else would it be? Who is this her to whom the message refers?
well, I don't know exactly.
Then how can I meaningfully evaluate this object? Next! It is a flower. It reminds me of something, but I cannot say what. An item from Poppy's childhood. Her earliest piano lessons hold some special significance for her.
Why's that?
No idea. She has never graced me with the details, and I am not forthcoming enough to ask.
You two are friends, right?
We are, yes.
But
It is clear to me now that Poppy has become tired of my company.
is it anything to do
Aw.
with Freya?
Oh, no. The changes in Poppy's mood have nothing to do with Freya. Her concerns simply lie elsewhere.
I will throw out my crackpot theory that it's possible that it's Freya and Poppy who are in love with each other, and they're the ones who scratched the heart into the tree outside.
Who is that in the photo?
I'm quite sure that I have no idea. What a mess. Penelope should tidy up after herself.
These weren't dropped by Penny. They were dropped by birds, I think.
My argument stands.
What's wrong?
Earmuffs do not go on statues.
Okay. The next up. The Rambling Man again.
Percival Pointer. Good old... So, what do you reckon? Is he the murderer?
I don't know, maybe. We still need...
That is not information we're willing to share at this time.
I'm just saying, keep an eye on him. Holds on to a lot of bitterness, does old Pointer. Just because he's always struggled to support his family. Slightly pathetic, really.
And how long have you known him?
Over 35 years.
Childhood friends? Rivals?
Don't know if I'd do him the honor of considering him my rival. Penelope seems to have really settled into a groove. She struggled a bit when she was younger, always a little estranged.
How come?
Well, she was mostly raised by her uncle, and he really only makes time for his own daughter. Now, of course, she's bringing the two families together through her marriage. It's a nice gesture, heartfelt, but futile. Poppy's a good friend to my daughter. No,
Your poor wife.
I think they get on well because they're so different.
Different like how?
Poppy is, she's quite introspective, good with feelings. Fiona, not so much. Still, Poppy always seems to be sulking about something.
The heavy, heavy price of emotional intelligence.
Could it be she had a crush on a girl and they broke up?
Why don't you ask Fiona about that one? Looks like her area of expertise. That looks like it might belong to Fitz. I've never seen that before. Looks valuable. What's this all about? Some kind of rare jewel?
I'm pretty sure the research is about a real insect.
If it's made of gold, then it's made of gold. Bizarre things, aren't they? Penelope seems rather attached to them.
Do you not feel sorry for them in that little cage?
Come now, I'm sure they could leave if they really wanted to.
Sure.
Now this is still in very good condition, apart from the crack, of course.
What about those shards on the inside of the horn?
Looks like somebody broke a glass and was trying to conceal the evidence. Cunning. Goodness me! That looks like it might belong to Fitz. I've never been one for music. Why not ask Poppy instead? Oh dear.
Do you know who this is?
Not a clue.
Hope you are very respectful of her change of aesthetic.
Is that a clue? Really?
It might be. The statue was up in the rooftop garden.
Yes, it's been there a while. You can see the brass is slightly tarnished by the elements, but it's not too bad. Might be salvageable.
Yeah, I know. Also, I appreciate that Felix gets kind of straight to the point when he doesn't know anything about it. He's just like, I could talk to someone else. And I'm like, all right, thanks. Bye. All right, let me go talk to my favorite lady. For distance from who she used to be. Hell yeah. I also, actually, really quick, I want to listen to the gramophone again.
Weird.
It's someone humming a tune.
Poppy says it looks like a tape she gave to Freya a few weeks ago. How odd. Oh, beautiful.
You know the guy in the other tower? Weird astronomy professor guy?
Can you see him from your window? Can he see you?
What do you know about Penny?
I can't really imagine those two being friends, to be honest.
You never know.
I'm sure they must relate about birds a bit.
Do you and Poppy get along?
Nothing. Shocker. Or more,
Still gotta
what could you
try.
possibly be writing down?
Oh no, I gave up making notes ages ago. Now I'm just doodling in the margins. Do you know anything about this beetle?
Disdain. Mm-hmm.
Do you know anything about these birds? Or birds in general?
Disdain. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Do you recognize any of these feathers?
I love her. Anyway, I had to go. Okay. I don't think there's any other puzzles I haven't done. Just that's what we learned. Okay. If that's what you say. Because I don't think there's any puzzles that I'm missing at the moment. I've unlocked all the rooms so far that I'm allowed to. I'm positive. I'm 100% certain there is a secret room right here. We talked about there being heat from the wall. Let me double check in this room, maybe, if there's any mention of like heat coming from a wall.
That's a whole lot of books.
Boxes of stuff.
Okay. I don't think there's gonna be any mention. Yeah, I guarantee you there's a secret thing here. So let's go talk to everybody. I'm up to date on everything, I believe. Let's actually do the thing now. Okay.
It's a bird bath. Is that just rainwater? Looks a little weird.
The birds seem to like it.
They're even singing a little tune. Doot, 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 doot.
Please don't do that.
Alright, do it. Fascinating. Okay. Suspect statements.
That's all the statements collected. Let's run through them all to see if anything doesn't add up.
To see if anyone's been lying.
That too.
Fitz and I were up in the Moonlight Garden most of the afternoon. Then we heard this sound. Lasted about 3 seconds.
We thought it was coming from Flora's tower, so we went up there.
Her door was locked. Nobody was answering. So I made Fitz kick down the door.
Poppy and I went in. Freya was right there, laying on her back.
I left my tower and headed down towards the Grand Hall.
But in the hall, I spotted Uncle Pointer heading down the stairs. I vacated the library, but before I could begin my ascent, Professor Pointer appeared.
I didn't know what to do, so I ran downstairs to get Fifi.
I heard someone heading down the stairs, just outside my room.
Someone began banging on the door. I ignored it until the someone began shouting at me.
Eventually, she let me in.
I am mentioning that he had mentioned 2 people. He mentioned one person walked down and they sounded steady and sure. The second time, someone sounded nervous, and that's when he said he saw Poppy. Someone went downstairs. I think I know who did it. I think I might know. I'll let it keep going.
I spotted Detective Hawkshaw coming out of the library.
He emerged from the Pointer staircase, crossed the hall, and begun up the fellow staircase. As I was passing through the front door, Penelope called out from behind me. I inquired about the professor, and she told me he'd gone up the fellow tower.
I told her what had happened. She didn't believe me. She got angry.
I thought she was playing a trick on me, so I punched her in the face.
I recognized
whoop.
Fiona's voice as well as the voice of my own daughter.
We left the room, and Poppy's father was waiting outside. He followed us upstairs.
I ran up the stairs, hoping to catch up with him, but Felix appeared and blocked my path.
Back in the hallway, I bumped into a very concerned-looking Penelope. She was heading up Fellow Tower to find Professor Pointer, so I escorted her.
Poppy left the room for a while. When she came back, she had her father with her, and Fifi too.
Felix and Penny arrived shortly after we did.
A moment later, we were gazing down on the body of poor Freya.
Then I took a sample of the red paint on the unfinished painting.
She took me down to the library. We were in there about 15 minutes.
I quickly decided that I should leave also. I took Penelope with me, and we both went back to our rooms in Pointer Tower.
I wanted to go back to my room, but I realized nobody had told Detective Hawkshaw anything.
An unremarkable hour passed before the gardener finally made his appearance.
I think she was annoyed about being made to wait outside so long. But when I told her about Freya, she fell silent.
That's disappointing.
What is?
All the statements line up with each other.
No, they
They don't just line up. Some of them even seem to specifically confirm each other.
There's 2 things. There's 2 things that stick out to me as being odd. Number 1 is Hawkshaw mentions that she hears Penny's voice coming from behind her, but she doesn't specify that it was from the stairs. If what I believe is true, and I think that there might be some secret room behind Penny's room and also possibly behind that central part of the staircase, like I believe that whole fish tank situation, I bet that's going to lead to a secret room. It's possible that when Hawkshaw heard someone behind her, it wasn't Penny coming from the stairs, it was Penny coming out of a secret room. That's number 1 of what sticks out to me as something that could be a accidental inconsistency. Because otherwise, Penny does not have an alibi of someone who saw her up until the point that she was going upstairs and ran into, Felix. She mentions seeing her uncle, but he does not mention seeing her. So it's possible that she just said that and she had either come out of her room or just generally had seen him go by or something. The other thing that sticks out to me is that second pair of footsteps that head down the stairs. I feel that it could be Hawkshaw's steps. Hawkshaw says that she's in the library, but we do not have anyone to confirm that she was in the library at the time. While Pointer says he saw her coming out of the library, it is possible she was not coming directly out of the library itself and had just reached the bottom of the stairs, and he assumed that she was coming out of that way, or she had done that to fake whatever she was doing. Okay, I assume I am missing something, because I think I'm missing one piece of evidence, and that's what I need to before I can continue. Did search the astronomy tower? Okay. Sure.
A bell jar. It's
What do
empty.
people normally keep in bell jars?
Other than bells, you mean?
Other than bells? Like a bell that can make an extremely loud noise, perhaps?
Every astronomy tower needs a telescope.
I want to try.
Oh, okay, right. Aha. So he can see Freya, but he can't see behind the painting. And see the gramophone.
It's the tower opposite this one. It's the tower opposite this one.
Is that a window?
There's a window. There is a room up there.
I think it is.
There's a room up there.
Is there another room above Flora's room?
We should check that next time we're over there.
Should.
It's that little plant Flora keeps on the window ledge.
Don't you think it would fall off? In the wind.
Maybe it's glued down.
You can see right into Flora's room.
Not by accident.
I can see Flora, but she's not looking this way. She's looking up. Behind her is the backside of the easel holding Freya's unfinished painting. I can't really see anything behind it. Not from this angle. I can just about see the gramophone. I can see the doorway. It leads into the hall. The door itself is on the floor, knocked off its hinges. The rooftop garden is right underneath.
This is also suspect.
I can just about see the sky behind the tower.
I can't get the telescope to look up any higher.
Weird.
How interesting. You can't get it to look up very higher? Then how's he looking at the stars? How strange. How weird. How peculiar.
Is this supposed to be an astronomy telescope? I'm pretty sure you need to see the sky for astronomy to work.
I can't move it. I think this is just how it's set up.
There's something
How
about Pointer's
interesting.
astronomy habits. Something suspicious.
Let's ask him about it.
Yes, let's.
So, Professor, what interests you about astronomy exactly?
It's not a matter of being interested. Once you expand your mind to the wider universe, it cannot be unexpanded.
Mm-hmm. And how long have you been an astronomer?
I really don't like to give exact values unless I'm sure I can quantify them.
Convenient.
Why do you ask me these things?
I have a theory about you, Professor.
Oh? Go on.
Discovered a meteor is heading straight for Earth. You're not really interested in astronomy
You're
at
not
all.
really interested in astronomy at all.
You fucking
What
perv
could you
weirdo.
possibly mean by that?
I think you're interested in a slightly different field of research.
You're actually researching the golden beetle, I assume.
I don't have time for tiny, insignificant insects. My studies focus only on the inconceivably large and the unimaginably far away.
Right. That's why you like using your telescope so much.
Yes, naturally. My little portal into another world.
Yeah, about that.
I was actually looking at the crime scene. And not up at the sky.
Pointer's telescope.
You
was
disgusting
actually looking
man.
at the crime scene.
You
and not
awful
at the
man.
sky.
First, you accuse me of being a lowly entomologist. Now you're accusing me of, what, spying?
Are you spying?
Why would I need to spy on Flora?
I don't know why.
Because you lost your golden beetle specimen, and it's made you paranoid. You think somebody stole it from you.
Might not have been Flora you were spying on. Might have been Freya.
It's a very precious specimen. Incredibly rare. Valuable in ways you could never understand. Freya was always sneaking around, both towers and in the gardens too. She was definitely up to something.
So,
You fucking
this next
weirdo.
question is important. You were looking to Flora's room around the time of the murder. Did you witness the crime, Professor?
No, I didn't. When I looked into the room, Flora was already lying on the floor.
Flora? You mean Freya?
No, Flora. She was lying by the window. I couldn't see Freya at all. It was fairly dark, and the telescope isn't at a very good angle. That's why I decided to head over there myself. I needed to know what was going on.
This changes your statement, doesn't it?
No, everything I told you in my statement was true.
Apart from the reason you left your tower in the first place.
Right.
Let's go over what we know about the crime scene.
Not yet.
Freya was definitely up to something.
Something to do with the statue in the garden, I think.
Maybe we should go back and check. And we could have missed it.
First, I want to look at that secret room. Yeah. All right. So, how interesting. Because I believe that, and I have a feeling whatever knocked Freya out, whatever the sound was that happened, probably also knocked Flora out. Oh, let's go. Secret room. Oh, attic.
It's a statue of a wolf. Standing up straight, like a man.
You know there's a name for that.
A werewolf.
I know.
Secret room.
It's not quite as dusty as everything else up here. Also, it's not a statue. It's stuffed.
Taxidermy.
At least the moths are kept well fed. Someone painted out the window.
Do you think it was done recently?
No idea. Either way, it's pretty suspicious. It's ajar. The head screws off.
Huh. Just dusty junk.
Where's that light coming from?
Well, it's just daylight, I think. There's a decent gap between those floorboards.
Someone dropped a knife right through here?
Is that
Or
what
some
I
kind of
think
sharp
it is?
object? Poppy did mention it was perfectly horizontal.
Nothing catching my interest.
Sorry, is this spooky attic boring you?
Kinda. Nothing catching my interest.
Sorry, is
Kinda. Nothing catching my interest.
Sorry.
Kinda. Nothing catching my interest.
Sorry.
Kinda.
Just dusty junk.
What's in that little box? I bet it's bones. A skull, at least.
You know, maybe I won't open it. Just dusty junk. Just dusty junk.
Alright, what's this?
What is that?
Not sure. Some kind of reel?
Looks like it might attach to something.
Reel thingy. A brass reel with a screw on at the top. Coiled around the reel is a length of fine red rope. Interesting.
Nothing catching my interest.
Sorry.
Kinda.
Okay. I believe that is all our items. First of all, let's go show this thing around to everybody.
Do you know what this is?
Guess not.
I love her. That's my wife. Fitz, you. Not Fitz. Felix, you lucky, lucky man.
What is it?
We don't know. We were really hoping you would.
My friends, shed your hope and let it fall free like sandbags from a hot air balloon.
That's the most depressing idiom I've ever heard.
Is this yours, Fifi?
I do not recognize it. And besides, I would have no use for such a thing. Perhaps it could be used to hang wet laundry?
Was that a joke?
Yes.
Letters, should I, after I'm done yapping at people, should I go to the garden first or to the entrance first? I just need you to know as someone who has played the game and knows what happens.
What is that?
I'm not sure. It looks like it attaches to something else.
Why don't you go back and double check the area you found it? Maybe you'll find the rest of the something else.
I'm not so sure about that.
It's bigger in here than I...
Hello, if it's... You can't really sequence break the game, says it. Okay, gotcha.
I don't know what that is.
Me neither.
Me 3. Oh, sorry. I thought you said me too.
Where did you find this?
It was in the attic.
Oh, huh. I forgot we even had an attic.
Is that for sewing?
Maybe?
We have no idea.
What's this? Is it a clue?
We don't actually know. But Grimoire picked it up, so now he has to pretend it is.
That's how it works.
That is how it works. True. Okay, I'm gonna go to the garden, I think, first. I want to figure out this statue. I might have a theory as well. Hello? Hello? Hello?
This wasn't here before.
Hello?
What is it?
It's a little wooden toy. Looks kind of like a crab.
There's a note.
Crab? For me?
What does it say? Grimoire?
Oh. This is my new friend. He likes music. Simple melodies will move his soul. Best of luck to you two. Best of luck, you two, Freya. What? A wooden toy of some kind. A layer of dark ink lays beneath the sheet of glass. Best of luck, you two?
What do you think? Is it really from her?
How can it be?
Why don't we check the handwriting with Freya's diary?
Good idea. Hold on.
Well?
It's a perfect match.
Well, it's confirmed. We have a ghost helping us.
Let's keep this to ourselves for now.
What about the little wooden toy thingy?
Maybe we can put it to some kind of use.
Unfinished business? As this? Wait. What? Why are we now starting a new chapter? What do you mean? Okay, hang on. Just hang on a moment. Everybody, hang on. Everyone stand back a moment. Hang on. Everybody hold on a moment. Okay, hang on. I was waiting to say this, because I didn't know... Okay. Here we go. Here's the theory, right? Here's the theory. It's back in the flesh this time. Was it me? Did I let it out? Maybe I should rip up that painting. Soul Bearer works. Impressive little thing. I have 2 now. Need 2 more. Found my way into the middle. Surprisingly simple compared to the harp. I saw them, all 5, eyes blacked out. Despite everything, I still have a promise to keep. I'll do my best. She could do with a little company. I still don't know what half of this means, however. Okay. Let's back up a moment. Let's everyone stand back. We're bringing up the back scratcher as a we're extending it. We're getting my little flaily around. We gotta, yeah, I'm standing up. This is gonna break my model, but it's okay. I'm standing up. Okay, so we have had it mentioned that okay, the painting, right? The painting. Freya made this painting, and from what, I don't even remember who told me this. I just know I remember a character saying that the painting comes from a nightmare that she had, that she's been having this reoccurring nightmare, and the painting came from that. It sat at the end of her bed, and there's also some kind of conspiracy board situation that the picture of the painting has a bunch of little arrows drawn out, so it means something, right? So, I wonder if this is not a situation of a ghost happening, but more that Freya was paranoid that she was going to die, that she knew something bad was going to happen to her, and that she was clearly doing something. She was clearly sneaking around doing something. She might have stolen the beetle, she might have not, who cares? Point is, she was doing something, and she was running around doing something sneaky, whatever. I'm trying to put all my thoughts together, because again, I don't know where the line gets drawn. I don't know where the line of this being a slightly bizarre but still semi-grounded story, and this being like purely fantastical or having some kind of paranormal element to it. Like, I don't think it's her ghost though. Because, from what I remember, it's mentioned somewhere that we don't know who hired us. Who hired us? I think it's possible that Freya knew something bad was going to happen to her, knew that something terrible was going to happen, and so she potentially hired us in it. But then how did the crap thing get outside, though? I assume someone helped her. I assumed maybe she asked someone like, hey, in case I die or something, put this wherever. I don't fucking know. But I think it's possible she may have hired us ahead of time, and she knew it was going to happen, and something, I don't fucking know. I got up here thinking I had an epiphany, but I don't fully know at this current moment in time. I feel like there's something, I don't know where the line is drawn. I don't know if there's really ghosts. But okay. To get to my point, to just say it out loud, to put it out there, I'm wondering if this drawing that Freya made, I keep feeling like it is Detective Hawkshaw. And that feels crazy, but I'm like, it feels like it looks like her. And I'm like, if it looks like anything else specifically, I feel like it has to be something I haven't seen yet, and maybe it's something that I will see soon enough. But could it be possible that Freya was having this weird dream of someone hurting her, that person ends up being Detective Hawkshaw, and her arrival possibly made Freya uneasy or panicked, or it caused like a lot of more stuff to happen? I don't fucking know. Is it also possible that Hawkshaw has more to do with this family than we originally realized? Obviously, yes, she's presumably hired by Professor Pointer to look for his missing beetle whom he believes Freya stole from him. Is it possible, though, that Hawkshaw is more related to this family? We have a lot of family members who are not specifically named or listed, or are like mysterious figures that aren't fully in the, like, that aren't living here anymore. Is it possible there's some connection there? I'm also still hooked on the fact that in the sketch Freya did, Hawkshaw doesn't have a scar? Maybe I'm looking too deep into that, but like, this game is pretty good about just putting details out there and being like, yes, this is a detail you were supposed to notice, yes. Without bringing like direct attention to it, which I'll yap about my feeling on the game and how I feel like I enjoy very much how they design this game, because it both feels like a very easy to grasp mystery, like good for beginners, without holding your hand, which is a really, really hard thing to do, but I really appreciate it. It is both very linear and straightforward to make sure that you are able to get everything and make sure you understand things, but it doesn't hold your hand. It's not like when I play Ace Attorney and I get frustrated because I know, because like if I know the answer, the game doesn't try to gaslight me into thinking I'm wrong. It doesn't make me take a bunch of steps to get to the answer that I already know is right. I just know the answer, so when the questions come up, I'm ready to answer them. And if I don't, the game would surely give you a way to have a hint and do all of that. But I'll get more into that later. But I don't know, man. That's what I'm gonna throw out there. Unless something is surely gonna come up and it's gonna make it clear that I'm wrong, but that's just what I'm gonna leave it here. Now I'm gonna sit down again. We're gonna keep going. We're gonna persevere. Okay. So I would assume.
I'm still not sure about this thing.
Should we take another look?
Yes, I know. These symbols are gonna have to do with the crab. So it has to do with a bell sound. Doesn't seem like this puzzle can be solved yet. Well, it can. I understand. So something to do with the bell. Something to do with maybe someone singing or just talking. Bird noises. I'm assuming that's going to be in the bird room with all the chirping birds. I don't know what the bell refers to. This one might refer to the humming on the recording, and this one would refer to the piano because we can ask Poppy to play the piano.
Let's come back later.
But obviously, so I think we have 3 out of 4 of them. I think we're missing whatever the bell is, so that's still something. So I guess because it says I can't solve it yet, or probably I can. Is there a bell? There is a bell! No. There's a bell. There's a bell. There's a bell. I rang it at the beginning of the game. There's a bell. Hang on. He likes simple melodies move his soul. Okay. Yes. Okay. We're doing it. Let's go. Okay. Going to the gramophone next, because I think it's the humming on the cassette tape that it's referring to. It likes simple melodies.
Weird.
It's someone humming
A tune. I bet the birds are referring to the birds outside. Okay, there's the humming. Quickly. Piano. Poppy, hurry! This is an emergency! Poppy!
Yeah, it's mine.
Play the tune.
Can you play the tune for us?
Sure. It's literally 8
Do it.
notes.
Do it right now. Do it. I'm so excited. Yeah, and?
Yeah, it's mine.
Can you play the tune for us?
Sure. It's literally 8 notes. I have it memorized.
Can I? Where is it? Crap! There we go. Got it. There we go. There's the birds. Quick to the birds. Can you hear me unraveling as we speak? Birds. Yes.
That's all 4 melodies.
So, what do we do with
I know what we go to the garden. Go. Secret.
Try
Give
this.
me secret.
You know, I think we might be...
Yes. I'm sorry. Listen, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I have to do this. This is so important to me. One. This one.
That's gotta be right.
Nothing. Maybe it's broken.
Wait, do you hear that?
Yes! Yeah! Go!
Are we gonna go in?
Yeah, but there's a couple of things I want to do first.
Hey, Tom. Okay. Fair enough. Go. Go. Do it.
We
Crime
know a
scene.
little more about the crime
Gimme.
scene now. So, what do you think? Was Freya stabbed by her own painting?
No! No, you fucking idiot! No! Right, stab. the real knife, you know, the bullet from the paint pot was usually the red painted ink tip resemble a bloody
Blood
knife.
from the paint pot was used to paint the red tip of the painted ink dip feather to resemble a bloody knife.
I think you're right. Can't decide if I'm disappointed or relieved.
Shut up!
I have a question. Why?
Either it's a very strange coincidence, or somebody set it up.
Somebody deliberately put blood in the paint pot and hid that feather after the crime. Why? To distract us?
Possibly.
Well, it worked.
Possibly.
Flora's the only person who could have hidden the feather, unless someone took it from her.
Let's go over what we do know. The door was locked the whole time. It stayed locked until Fitz kicked it down. Normally, it can only be opened from the inside. Pointer said he couldn't see Freya from his telescope, but he did see Flora lying by the window.
So whatever got Freya got Flora too?
Except Flora survived. She didn't get a stab wound like Freya did.
Hold on. If there was no knife, then what did stab Freya?
It could be anything. It might not even be important.
How is it not important?
Right now, I'm less interested in the what, and more interested in the how.
The angle of Freya's wound suggests she was stabbed at a perfect right angle. That is, from directly in front of her. But she was standing right up by the canvas.
Somehow,
She's dropped it
Freya
on
ended
her
up
from
lying
the
on her back,
ceiling.
still perfectly in line with a painting.
Maybe something went through it.
Through the painting?
No.
Wouldn't that leave a hole?
Okay, well, how about this? How do we know Freya was stabbed before she fell over?
Exactly.
Maybe her being stabbed and her falling over are completely unrelated. Are we done?
For now. It's about time we found out what's beneath the garden.
No, hang on, because there's actually, I realized there's one thing I want to look at, because at the time I didn't fully understand. I just want to see if I can understand it differently now.
Fifi's got something pinned up here.
What is all this?
Because there was this graph, right? Because it's this like an... What does it mean?
Arrows connecting all the different suspects.
They're not labeled, though.
Yeah, they're completely meaningless. Did
Anyway.
you notice who isn't on here?
Freya?
Mm-hmm. And Fifi herself.
Okay, really quick. Okay. Let me go down here. I need to go to the bathroom. I cannot possibly wait to go to the bathroom until after, like, I do this. So I'm gonna go to the bathroom really quick. Everyone stretch your legs again, do all that good stuff. I will be right back. I'm gonna pause the recording really quick this time, and I will be right back. All right, recording unpaused, here we go. Into the below, into the basement we go, everybody. I'm so thrilled and excited. What's here? Show me. Okay. Underneath. All right. Ooh. Hello. I see a lot of bugs.
And drawn entomology charts.
I assume this is for the secret entomologist.
It looks like they're being boiled,
They'll have a bunch of cracks.
but the liquid is ice cold. A cracked glass tank with 9 little rooms. Each one has 1 or 2 insects inside. I can't tell if they're still alive.
I like that you called them rooms.
It's so dark. I can barely tell what I'm looking at.
Bugs. Big ones.
Looks like they're made of metal. What's in there?
Looks like the golden beetle.
It's a little diagram of a beetle, with some incomprehensible notes scribbled next to it.
That's weird.
What?
It looks really normal compared to the beetles behind the glass.
This is the gold one.
9 beetles. All different, all dead.
Poor little guys.
There's a bunch of notes written all around them. It's mostly numbers. No idea what they mean.
And maybe how expensive they are.
9 beetles.
Poor little
There's a bunch. It's mostly numbers.
Forensic Entomology, Volume 3.
That's an incredibly specific area of study.
Forensic Entomology.
That's an incredibly specific... Rows of plants, growing in wide wooden boxes.
What color is the soil?
It looks black, but it's too dark to tell.
This place would never pass a fire safety inspection.
It's so dark, I can barely tell what I'm looking at.
It's a hatch.
But we're already in the basement.
Depends on your perspective.
Let's not go down just yet. We still haven't explored this room properly. It's so dark. I can barely tell what I'm looking at.
Thirsty?
A candle, perched on a barrel.
Very medieval.
I was thinking pirates.
Medieval pirates.
Medieval pirates.
Chemistry apparatus. A candle.
Very medieval pirates.
A glass tank. It's full of plants.
There's a layer of condensation on the inside. Is that a lab coat?
Warning, hand wash only. Size, small.
Is it locked?
Seems likely, doesn't it? Weird looking safe.
I'm pretty sure the latches can slide into the middle.
See. Okay, so that one has to go there, I assume. No, can I? Okay, no, they have a specific layering. Gotcha. Okay. Let's work on this in to out thing. Looks like we know this one has to go here, so I guess let's start here. This. This, I assume. Okay. Ah,
I got it.
I'm impressed.
I've done it. Show me.
Anything inside?
Yeah, more research.
Oh, I see. A folder containing research notes and diagrams. You did that so much easier than she. I'm so glad. I can't wait to hear about Chi's experience. It's a folder containing research notes and diagrams. 1. Our unique flora and fauna is the byproduct of a number of as yet unidentified chemicals. 2. These chemicals are continually present in the water, forming clouds and filling the lake. This causes a variety of mutations in plants and animals. 3. Smaller creatures such as arachnids, insects, mollusks, amphibians, and crustaceans are the most affected. However, the chemicals may travel up the food chain and cause mutations in birds and reptiles. As far as we know, mammals remain completely unaffected. Being in the puzzle for a while.
Whose research is this? This is some seriously in-depth research.
That's impressive, but it's incomplete. There's a section missing.
A section that we have. Right here.
So, this is Pointer's secret lab.
Definitely seems like he's the one using it.
I guess not a lot of people know about the secret entrance.
Right. But if Pointer's the only one who comes down here, why would he need to lock his research in a safe? Who is he hiding it from?
He's just paranoid, especially about his golden beetle.
What do you think he's trying to do exactly?
Tell them. I'm gonna kill the golden beetle. The underground laboratory?
Pointer has been planning to kill the golden... Almost. Maybe just change.
Why is there so much research on this beetle and why is it hidden?
Pointer locked up. Almost. Maybe.
I'm trying to breed golden beetle?
Pointer has been trying to breed the golden beetle in the underground laboratory.
Why? Because it's rare?
Because it's gold?
Is that it?
I think so. I don't think he cares about entomology any more than he cares about astronomy. He just wants to get one over on Felix. If he can breed his own gold, suddenly Poppy's inheritance is looking pretty...
infinite. Might explain why he was so worried about losing the beetle. Maybe somebody did steal it.
Might have been Freya after all. We know she was trying to get through the secret door in the garden.
She might not have known what was down here, though. Maybe she was just curious.
Curious, sure, but not naive. I reckon she knew what was going on.
I think we're still missing the bigger picture. There's no way this is all just about a beetle. We're done.
Ready to go down? Again?
Yes. Take me down. Jesus Christ. What is this?
Basements don't normally have windows.
We're at the bottom of the lake. We must be.
Right. But if that's the lake bed, why does it look like that?
Like what?
White, smooth, no plants, no anything. That's not what a lake looks like.
Where are we?
Do these puddles worry you?
Why?
That's lake water, but it's indoors.
Ah, I see your point.
Where are... Indeed.
Gives off kind of a dungeon vibe.
What do people actually use chains for?
Nothing good.
It's an old coat rack. Looks thoroughly neglected.
2 cloaks. And a green hat draped on top for good measure.
Old cardboard boxes.
How exciting.
Oh, but there's more. They're also damp and empty. Old cardboard.
exciting.
Oh, they're also damp and empty.
2 coats and a green hat.
There's a roll of paper up there.
I'll see if I can reach it.
Let me guess. Blank.
Misted Mansion North Side cross section. Oh look, a mysterious study that is not there. How peculiar! How odd!
Study. Wait.
I know what you're thinking. And no, we never went in there.
How did we miss it?
Hidden.
The rooftop garden. That name makes a little more sense in this context. A bedroom.
That's Fifi's room, isn't it? A bedroom.
Penny's room, I think. It's the aviary. The rooftop. That name makes a little more storage.
It's Freya's room.
Used to be a storage room.
The library. The grand hall.
What's that thing in the middle?
I think it's that big glass tube.
Music room. That's the room we're in now. It must be. It's not labeled as anything on these plans, though.
I think it already existed when this was made. It's the room above us. The one we were just in.
The laboratory?
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on?
That's the lake, right? I think that horizontal line might be the water level.
It used to be a lot lower down than it is now.
So, the whole house is built on top of some kind of platform.
Apparently. This seems pretty significant.
Agreed.
A roll, Mistred Mansion North Side cross-section. A roll of parchment on which the plans for a grand mansion have been drawn. A horizontal line marks where the lake was before, and a second line marks where it is now. The mansion was built on top of a large structure above the lake, supported by pillars. Freya's room is listed as storage. A room labeled study is in the center.
A single book on a little makeshift table.
This is creeping me out slightly.
Why?
I think it's a children's book.
Soul Bear, that's the crab thing with the extra leg. Interesting. So that's what it's referring in the diary as the Soul Bearer. Mistreds of the Sea and Sky, a children's book picture book. It looks very old. The Ink Dip, an elegant bird with red and white plumage. The Silver Snake, an aquatic reptile with no eyes and a long tongue. The Soul Bearer, the crab with 3 different sized claws. And the Amphiboi, Amphobe, a frog-like creature walking on 2 legs.
This room looks old. Like, old.
It makes the rest of the house seem relatively modern. A bunch of picture frames, but it's too dark to see the pictures.
It's not too dark. The frames are all empty.
A single book on a little...
This is...
Why?
I think it's a children's book.
It's an empty book.
Something tells me it's been empty for a long time. We're too late. This photograph has been stabbed.
Why?
Not sure. Some kind of metal stabbing.
Oh, but
thingy.
look, there's a string on it. Is this the murder weapon? Am I holding the murder weapon right now? A sleek but sturdy metal rod. It has been stabbed into a photograph. The rod has a curved and point tip, like an arrow or the hand of a clock. It has a small loop at the back with a short length of red rope connected to it. The metal is perfectly clean and polished.
So what's the photo?
It's been framed, but is slightly damp. The photograph shows a young girl. A large man is... that's definitely Flora. A large man sitting next to her. Around them are several red and white birds. A metal object was stabbed into the photo, leaving a hole near the man's chest.
Do you know who it is in the photo?
I'm assuming that is Freya's father. Is Lord whatever there are. Remington.
This room looks like
It
old.
makes the rest of the house seem...
This room looks like...
It makes the rest of the house seem... Old.
How
clock.
exciting.
No,
All right,
not
let's
so
do
damn
it.
empty.
Okay, strange
This
photograph.
man in the photo, he reminds me of something from one of our clues.
This guy with the beard.
Felix made a little model of him for Flora.
Yeah, it makes sense when you know who he is.
Lord Remington.
Lord Remington.
Remington. That makes him Flora's father, meaning the girl in the photo is...
Yeah, it's her. See the bird, too.
I never would have guessed. Times sure do change.
I don't know. I don't think she looks so different.
Me neither.
Did you notice how much light this room has? For a room with 1 candle?
It's all coming through the window.
I'm pretty sure lakes are supposed to be darker at the bottom, not lighter.
Why is there a room down here anyway? And why is it so much older than the rest of Tangle Tower?
We still don't really know why people came to live here in the first place.
Maybe they just wanted to get rich, like Pointer with his beetles.
I feel like the Remingtons came here for the lake, for what was in it.
It's empty, though. More empty than a normal lake would be.
Yeah, and they
It
left
is
because
now,
they got
yeah.
it. They took
Maybe
it all.
we're too late.
Oh boy, oh boy.
Let's head back up to the Grand Hall. I want to find that last...
Oh no, why is it dark in here?
Wow, it's dark all of a sudden.
Oh no.
How long were we down there?
Oh no.
The family tree. I can just about still make it out.
Oh.
Let's look for a way into the study. It's somewhere
The
in
room was marked on the building plans we found.
Yeah. Also, I realized I don't think I ever clicked on the family tree. Can I do that?
Just Lady Fellow.
Do these people not have first names? Lord Fellow.
Looks like he was married twice.
Scandal. Lord Remington.
I can't believe I've never clicked on
He
these.
sounds important. Lady Remington.
I think I have one of those in my bathroom.
No.
Lord Pointer.
This goes back a couple of generations. Lady Pointer.
How do you become a lady? I want to be a lady.
You can be a lady.
Selena Stonetop.
No family line. Apparently, she just appeared out of nowhere.
Felicia Fellow.
Freya's mother.
I guess she doesn't live here anymore. Freya Fellow.
The murder victim.
She's barely related to the main family at all.
Damien Dusk. It's Freya's father. I guess he doesn't live here anymore.
Flint Fellow. I guess he doesn't live here anymore.
Fitz Fellow.
We met him. He's one of the suspects.
Emily Everstone. I guess she doesn't live here anymore.
Felix Fellow.
We met him. He's one of the suspects. Flora Remington.
We met her. She's one of the suspects. Fiona Fellow. We met her. She's one of the suspects.
Richard Remington.
The one and only. Primrose Remington. I guess she doesn't live here anymore.
Why do you say Richard Remington like?
Percival Pointer.
Professor Percival Pointer. We met him. He's one of the suspects. Buck Brackley. I guess he doesn't live here anymore.
Why does everyone else get that he doesn't live anymore, but Richard doesn't? That's weird.
Pandora Pointer. I guess she doesn't live here anymore. Poppy Pointer. We met her. She is one of the suspects. Penelope Pointer. We met her. She is one of the suspects.
Oh, can I check the edges? Sorry, guys. Sorry. I know.
Pretty. Pretty.
Just making sure. Okay.
Let's look for a way into the study. It's somewhere in the...
The room was marked on the building plans we
okay.
found.
This must be it. This thing goes all the way up.
How are we supposed to get up there?
Hang on. It's pitch black, but I think there's a switch.
Bullet. A ladder.
A ladder.
Want to go up?
Let's look. It's
Okay, fine. Ruin my fun, why don't you?
A ladder.
Want to go up?
Take me to the study. I've been in one chapter this whole time, and apparently there's been 14 chapters. The Hidden Heart. Secret. Find your way into the secret room. I see. Okay.
Is that a crab?
It's got a translucent exoskeleton. You can actually see its insides.
Also, crabs normally have 2 claws, right? Not 3?
We can have 3 claws if we want to. Oh.
You sure we should be touching it?
Grimoire, don't you think it looks familiar? This crab really reminds...
That little wooden...
Yeah, but I don't think that's going to help us. I think I've seen it more recently.
Okay. In the book.
Is that a...
It's got a...
Also... Perfect.
Oh no.
some kind of fish and a bird skull, I guess?
If that's a bird skull, we're talking about a 15-foot bird here.
Well, how about we stop talking about it?
Hooks. Big hooks.
Centipede? Millipede? How many legs has it got?
Too many. Those aren't bird cages.
Some of them are disconcertingly large.
At least they're all empty.
Is someone cryptid hunting up here?
Are you sure that's a good thing? Who are all the people in this photo?
Not sure, but it looks like someone didn't like them very much. Their eyes have all been crossed out.
The ambassadors of Mistrid Mansion. Interesting. A photograph in a sturdy wooden frame. It's dusty and looks several years old. A brass plaque at the base of the frame reads, "The Ambassadors of Mistrid Mansion." The photo shows 2 women and 3 men wearing a variety of different styles of clothing. All 5 people have their faces crudely covered in blacking. So if I were to make a guess, this seems like it's Felix in the back. Either that or it would be Lord Fellow, potentially. I feel like this looks a lot like Poppy, but I'm wondering if that means it's Poppy's mother, potentially. Because this one also, this looks like, God, after Meralda, this looks like Fifi, but not quite. So I'm wondering if this is maybe Fifi's, like maybe Fifi's aunt or something? Like, you know what I mean? Like someone who's related, like one of the fellows, but, you know. And then maybe some of them are the Remingtons here. Okay, interesting.
That photo is important. I'm sure of it.
Certainly. Middle isn't related to Fifi. Got you. Just has the same hair color.
Their eyes have all been crossed out.
Interesting.
You know, in any normal room, this thing would be my main concern. In here, though, it barely makes the top 3. That's how we got in. It leads down into the Great Hall.
Doesn't look like there's any other way to get in or out.
I am assuming they're related to
Do
the
those
family,
look
though.
like scratch marks to you?
Like they're potentially
On the glass?
The Remingtons, possibly.
Yeah, they're on the inside.
Oh, good.
Dragon?
Snake?
Worm?
That's the one. Do those look like scratch marks?
Yeah, they're on the inside. A wooden stool. Crumpled up paper.
Is there anything written on any of it?
Not really. It's mostly blank.
Nice chair.
It's still warm.
Maybe it's just heat from the incinerator.
Maybe.
Maybe. The fellows, pointers, and Remingtons an additional. Got you.
Coffee table, half-empty wine bottle, lamp left on. And I'm gonna say someone's been using this room.
Someone complacent enough to leave their notebook lying around.
Hello, notebook. Several pages have been ripped out, but a few remain. 5th ambassador located, finally. Can't say I harbored any optimism, but still somehow disappointed, no better than the rest of them. Took my misted friend to the music room for experiments. It works, perhaps too well. The laboratory was another disappointment. All that effort for what? He's even more short-sighted than I could have guessed. Went to the bottom, nice view. It's been mostly cleared out, but I have what I need. She got in. She was careful. Nothing was moved, but I know. It's time. Fascinating. Okay, so wait a moment. 5th ambassador located finally. Can't say I harbored any optimism, but still somehow disappointed, no better than the rest of them. Took my misted friend into the music room for experiments. It works, perhaps too well. I assume that maybe is the crab device. The laboratory was another disappointment. All that effort for what? He's even more short-sighted than I could have guessed. I'm assuming that's referring to pointer. Went to the bottom, nice view. It's been mostly cleared out, but I have what I need. She got in, she was careful, nothing was moved, but I know it's time, and I'm assuming that unfortunately refers to Freya.
coffee table.
Someone complacent enough to leave their notebook lying around. An axe and some kind of hunting rifle mounted on the wall.
Honestly, doesn't look like they've been moved in a few years.
I'm more worried about the third one.
The third one?
The one that isn't there.
Mm-hmm. Could have been here.
What's this?
Something somebody didn't want us to find.
Is this what was used to kill Freya? Does the thing go in the thing?
What is it?
Crossbow.
That's a bookcase. It's mostly empty.
What a surprise.
And this explains why the entomology books were all taken off the shelves about bugs, too.
They called this room a study?
What would you call it?
The secret death chamber of doom.
Yeah.
Those aren't bird cages.
Some of them are.
At least they're all empty.
You sure that's a good thing?
Nice rug.
An incinerator built into the wall. It's still pretty hot.
Is there anything left inside?
It's mostly ashes. But yeah, there's something.
Oh no! Bird feather and some not much more than a pile of dust and ash. Among the ashes are several black buttons. Red-colored scraps of fabric are still visible. And the bird feather. And I see where we place our thing.
It's a wooden pinboard, hung up on one of the chains.
Looks like there's a couple of things missing from it.
A large central sheet of paper has been pinned to it. 4 lines have been drawn from a gap in the center. A smaller sheet underneath features a drawing resembling the silhouette of a cloaked figure. Have I been right this whole fucking time? Have I been fucking right this whole fucking time? Okay. A weapon. Let's start with the weapon.
Was someone trying to hide it? From us?
I don't know, but it looks incomplete to me. I want to know what happened to the rest of it. Where are the other parts?
We found them
We found them already.
We found... not the reel. We smell the violins. Hawkshaw, Hawkshaw, Hawkshaw. I fucking knew it. I fucking knew it. You heard it here first. I fucking knew it. This motherfucker.
What do you make of it?
Not sure.
She's
Let's
connected
keep
to this
an open
goddamn
mind.
family.
You don't think the crossbow is the murder weapon?
Oh no, the crossbow is definitely the murder
Yes.
weapon. But that doesn't mean we've solved the mystery.
Oh, I've solved it. I've solved it. It's solved right now. I got you.
Another photograph.
Their faces are all crossed out with some kind of black ink.
That's weird.
Oh, you think so?
No, I mean, something I just realized. Sally, did we meet any of these people here at Tangle Tower?
Well, the woman on the left looks a little like Poppy, but her style is way different. And at first I thought the guy on the top right was Felix, but now that I look at it, I don't think it is him.
Oh, but they're relatives. No, let me solve it. Fine.
I don't get it. This room is in the original building plans for the mansion, but nowadays it's some big secret?
It's not a secret to everybody. At least one other person still knows about this room.
The way the notebook was left out on the table makes me think it's someone who has the room all to themselves.
Whoever it was, they left more than just the notebook. There's a whole design project on this pinboard. Feels like someone put quite a bit of effort into it.
It's a shame there are things missing from it. Now I'm betting it'd make more sense if we could see it all together.
We can!
That might not be impossible.
We can. Let me do it. I see it. I see them. Give them to me. Give them to me. Give me the photo. Give me the drawing. Give it to me. Fucking Hawkshaw. I'm fucking.
This is in Freya's room, and those sketches. Did Freya design Detective Hawkshaw's clothes? What kind of sense does that make?
No,
I
you
don't think that's
idiot!
why Freya made that painting, but it may have been why somebody took a photo of it to use as reference. And as for those sketches of Hawkshaw, I don't think Freya actually drew them. It was somebody else, someone with less of a talent for art.
Doesn't exactly narrow it down. Should we go ask Detective Hawkshaw about all this?
I'm not sure.
No!
I still don't know what's really going on.
No, I feel it in my soul. I feel it in my soul. The murder.
Time to solve this.
I think I'm like, I mean, again, that scar, I think I was right that it wasn't there before. You know what I mean? You know? How fascinating.
All right, break out the notebook.
I'm ready.
Time to put it all together.
Let's start with this. It's an arrow for the crossbow, and it matches Freya's wound. It's the murder weapon. I'm sure of it.
Despite the fact it doesn't have any blood on it, and it wasn't found anywhere near the crime scene.
Mm-hmm. It was cleaned, then it was hidden. I don't think anybody expected us to get down to that room at the bottom of the lake.
Okay, so Freya was shot by a crossbow. Where was it fired from?
It's fired from above
It
Freya.
was fired from above Freya.
Above, huh?
Yeah, our diagram doesn't show everything. Let's add in the rest of the crime scene.
The attic.
Perfect hiding place. We even found a part of the murder weapon up there. The reel was used to pull the arrow back up through the crack in the floorboards.
Explains why we never found a weapon at the crime scene, I guess.
The murderer must have dropped the reel in the attic. I'm guessing they were in a hurry to escape.
Wait. The arrow was fired through the crack in the floorboards?
Yeah, it's directly above where Freya was found lying on her back.
Nope. Doesn't add up. It would have missed her if she was still standing up by the painting.
Because she wasn't.
Ah, right.
Unless...
Freya was already lying on her
Freya
back.
was already lying on her back before the arrow was fired.
I think so too.
She'd fallen unconscious.
Fallen unconscious.
Something in the room caused Freya to fall unconscious.
The gramophone.
The gramophone.
Right.
But the gramophone by itself can't do that.
There's something in the gramophone.
There is something in the gramophone.
Mm-hmm. Something small.
Like what? Because I know it connects to the horn stuff. But wait, what? Wait. Just hang on, we're gonna try something.
That's not it.
No.
That's not it.
Like the paints?
That's not it.
No. Hang on, guys. Also throwing it out there, I think Hawkshaw is maybe the No, never mind. I take it back. But whoever was down there, obviously, and who stabbed it with the metal rod, clearly has a beef with Lord Remington. Could be the other Primrose, maybe, possibly, maybe. Anyway, hang on, guys, hang on. We can do this. Hang on. Something small in the gramophone that went kaboom, I assume. Something that had to go boom. Right? Go kaboom? What was hiding in the grim? Hang on, guys. Just trust. No boom, different noise. We already tried the horn statue. Am I being dumb? Am I going? It's not the horn statue. It's
That's not it.
No. Okay. Maybe in the drawing somewhere.
That's not it.
Guys, listen. Listen, you gotta believe me, guys. I'm so good at this. Please. You gotta believe me that I can figure this out, guys. No.
Pointer's research says it can emit an incredibly loud hiss when it feels threatened. Poppy and Fitz
Holy
both
fuck.
said they heard a loud noise around the time of the murder. Neither of them had any idea what it
That's
was.
wild.
This seems a little far-fetched. Is it really loud enough to knock someone out?
Yeah,
No.
and shatter a bunch of glasses?
I don't think so, not by itself. But don't forget, it was being amplified by the shape of the gramophone. And I don't think we're purely talking about volume either. It might just be a particular type of frequency.
This is getting kinda scientific. Since when do you know anything about the effects of weaponized audio frequency?
I don't, but I think someone else does. Do you remember that statue we found in the music room? The horn it's playing. It's a pretty similar shape to the one on the gramophone. That broken glass isn't there on accident. This is someone's science experiment.
Thinking about it, Pointer said he saw Flora was knocked out too. I guess they were both in range of the noise, although Pointer might have been lying.
Personally, I think he was telling the
I
truth.
think he is.
about
I think
that.
he's too stupid.
It's pretty clear a powerful frequency did pass through Flora's tower. Caused quite a bit of damage too.
Yeah, because it broke a bunch of shit.
Those cracks didn't appear out of nowhere. Freya's paints, the pink cassette tape, and the gramophone itself, they all sustained similar damage while they were in that room.
That's some seriously powerful vibration, enough to crack metal, enough to knock someone out all the way across a room.
Yeah, that's the one thing I don't get. If the frequency was so powerful and had such a big range,
They had they had
how did
earmuffs.
the murderer pull it off? Wouldn't they have been in range too?
They stole earmuffs.
They can't have been much further away from the gramophone than Flora was.
They
They
protected
protected
themselves.
themselves.
But the earmuffs.
How?
The earmuffs. See, we're back on it now. We're back on
These
it.
are
The
some
beetle thing tripped me up, but we're back.
heavy-duty earmuffs. I think they'd be enough to block out the sound.
Right. Let's go over everything from the start. 1. Freya is painting Flora's portrait. They're listening to music on the gramophone.
2. The murderer is hiding in the attic, wearing earmuffs.
3. The golden beetle starts to emit its hissing noise.
Hold on. How did it know?
The beetle?
Yeah, what triggered it at that particular moment? Pointer's research said it makes the noise when it feels threatened.
I'm not sure. Maybe something in the music?
Maybe.
4. Freya and Flora are both knocked unconscious by the vibrations. Freya lands on her back. She drops the brush and palette by her side.
5. The murderer fires the crossbow directly downwards.
6. The arrow is pulled back up on the reel.
7. The murderer leaves the attic, presumably.
8. The door is kicked down. Fitz and Poppy enter the room.
That's it. There's something bothering me.
What?
I just want to check something. Let's go back to the crime scene.
Okay. Go. Oh, it's so spooky and dark. Oh no. Oh, it's spooky and dark.
I can see the stars. I can see the stars.
And it's dark. The answer is in the painting. I'm sure of it.
Freya was unable to paint. Freya added the blood to the painting herself. Her red paint was swapped out with blood. Flora is not holding a knife. She's holding a red and white ink-tip bird feather.
And it's dark.
It originally belonged to Poppy's mother, but Freya often used it while she was painting. Fifi says the gramophone must have been cracked sometime in the last 2 days.
The plant. It's in the book.
What?
Look.
The ink-tip bird. The ink-tip is a remarkably intelligent bird with a very long lifespan, even among avian mystids. Other birds are often aggressive towards it, but the ink-tip lives most of its life alone. It has a particular feeding habits and usually only eats the seeds of the Tantum amnica. Fifi says the book belongs to Flora, who hasn't been in the library for a long time. Penny says the book is outdated and the bird has been extinct for a number of years.
Freya, did you leave us a clue?
Because I've always wondered about this fucking bright-ass yellow dot, honestly. Poppy says that Freya would mix all the colors she would need before starting her painting. The red substance on the palette and brush was discovered to be blood, not paint.
Freya, did you leave us a clue?
So what's bothering you?
Something that's not here. The thing we didn't find. We know she was holding it during the painting.
Flora's ink-dip feather?
It was in the
here,
ashes.
in this room. Where'd it go?
We found it somewhere else.
Found it somewhere else.
In the ashes.
We were a little too late to save it.
So it was stolen from the crime scene, and ended up in the incinerator down in the study.
Someone wanted to destroy it, I guess.
But how? How was it stolen from up here in Flora's tower?
Presumably, Flora dropped it when she fell unconscious.
Yeah, and then what? The murderer couldn't have stolen it if they were up in the attic.
So the question is, how could they steal something from a room they weren't able to access? The final clue about the crime scene. Freya left it for us right here.
It's in the unfinished painting, I assume.
In the unfinished painting. It's not quite a photo, but still, it's an image of the crime scene recorded just
There's two
before
plants.
the murder. If only she'd finished it, and then I could be totally sure.
It's true she never finished it, but she did intend to finish it.
Meaning?
We know more about the painting than what Freya actually got down on the canvas.
What did Freya show us her intention in the painting? Sketched it?
That's not it.
No, I feel like I know what it is because she did the outline for it.
That's not it.
Hang on. I'm gonna get there.
Freya prepared all the colors
Okay,
she was going
gotcha.
to need before she started painting.
Mm-hmm. I'm like, it has to be that bright ass fucking yellow, right? Because it's untouched. Assume this.
The yellow paint was going to be used to paint this sketch of something sitting in the window.
I got it.
Something in the window. Oh.
There was another plant there and it's gone. Something yellow in the window of Florist Tower.
That's not it.
No, come on. Come on, I know it. Come on. Bird?
There she is, our little thief.
How long has it been there? Did it hear the whole conversation?
She did,
Hello.
but she's a very good listener.
Hawkshaw.
Well now, I think this has quite served its purpose, don't you?
Penny, why did you...
It's Penelope, if you don't mind. But before we begin, isn't there a
Well,
certain
well.
formality demanding our attention?
I was right on both accounts. Both being Penny and Hawkshaw, both of those testimonies.
Lovely. Now, tell me, what was it that drove you this far? I'm ever so curious.
Can't believe I didn't notice their voices were the same.
Justice for Freya.
Is that right? Interesting.
Why did you do it, Penny? What did Freya do to you?
Absolutely nothing.
So, what? You just hated her indiscriminately?
Freya Fellow was an inspiration to us all. She was possessed of a great energy, the volition to create something from nothing, the willpower to walk beyond her boundaries. She was truly free. Everything I couldn't be.
You know what? I just realized I actually have no idea who Penelope Pointer really is.
Weird, isn't it? Considering we've met her, 3 times now?
Exactly. How do we know this one isn't a disguise too?
You think you've already hollowed us out, don't you? Only a few short hours at Tangle Tower, and you feel like you've got everyone sussed. Unearthed every single one of our secrets. Nothing but bullet points for your notebook. Go on, indulge me. What does it say in your notes about Penelope Pointer?
Lonely?
I suppose I can't argue with that, can I?
Penny, we only know what you choose to tell us, so why not help us out?
Very well. Penelope Pointer is actually not very important at all. She pales in comparison to those who came before her and to those that came after. Living at Tangle Tower, it is very difficult to attain the levels of self-realization you probably take for granted.
You sure this is a Tangle Tower thing and not a you thing?
Perhaps you didn't notice. Not one of them is happy, not one.
So why stay? Why not just leave?
I thought she did leave. Penny, you said you traveled, didn't you?
I did. Many times I've walked away. It did not help me. You saw the family tree hanging in the grand hall, did you not?
Yeah, it lists a bunch of people who don't live here anymore.
A bunch of people who don't live here anymore. I couldn't have put it better myself. My mother, for one. My father, too. The other two Remingtons. Poppy's mother, Primrose. And her brother, Richard.
And Fitz's father.
That's 5. 5 people that might have lived here, but don't.
And that was the first question I wanted answered.
You wanted to know where they'd all gone?
More than that.
Why they
I
left?
wanted to know if I belonged with them. I have no place here. Not among the Fellows, the Remingtons, or the Pointers. But I felt there must be a reason why everyone else left. Some common purpose they all shared. Perhaps it could be my purpose too.
So, what did you actually do about it?
Nothing I could do, at first. Nobody would tell me anything. The more questions I asked, the fewer answers I got. Then, I found it. I was 19. Same age Freya is now.
Yeah, I should have known that you loved her. She was the murderer the moment you said you were so obsessed with her.
Found what?
The study.
The study. The one hidden in the middle of the house. It's right next to a bedroom.
I'd hear voices at night. Deep ones.
Listen, Letters, it's just because I felt like there had to be more going on for why you loved her, alright? Heh, fair. But also you told me I can't wait to talk about her, so I was just like, more than what I'm looking at right now? Like...
And the strangest thing, the wall behind my bed would get incredibly hot. For hours on end. The paint would peel, the wallpaper wouldn't stay up. I thought I was cursed. I thought it was something trying to break through. Eventually, I couldn't take it anymore. I found my way in the same way you did. Once you know it's there, it's simple.
So, you got into the study and found the incinerator. That must have been a relief, right?
It was still warm when I found it. Then, I looked inside.
The era of Misted Mansion.
Let's see how thorough you've been. Tell me, do you know what a misted is?
Misted?
Mythical creature.
Mistids? Sure, yeah.
You're more observant than I thought.
Sorry, what are we talking about?
It's a collective term. From
Come on.
before my time. Birds, insects, amphibians, anything living off the lake water. The mutation can take several generations, or it can happen overnight.
Wait, mistids, like cryptids, like Bigfoot or whatever.
A little egregious, isn't it? I suspect that was an intentional parallel. The main difference being mistids are perfectly real. They're just kept secret. Or at least, that was the original plan. As it happened, some got out. Quite a few got out.
How do you know all this?
When I entered the study at 19, I found a single object that rather changed my life. Something which answered my questions while at once creating all new ones. The 5 missing family members standing together as a single unit, calling themselves the ambassadors of Misted Mansion.
So, the house was renamed from Misted Mansion to Tangle Tower?
And rightly so. The age of Misted Mansion is long past. When I looked inside the incinerator on my first visit to the study, I found nothing but ash. The afterimage of a bygone era denied to me in its entirety. The study, The room at the bottom of the lake itself. All empty shells. I felt my only hope lay with the ambassadors. If I could find them, maybe they'd share the family history that Flora and the others were trying so hard to forget.
How did you track them down?
It was tough. They'd taken almost everything. Books, maps, charts. The creatures themselves, all lost. Taken away or destroyed. But I got lucky. I got a lead. I found one, and he led me to the rest.
And? What happened? Why'd you paint out all their faces?
They didn't help you either, did they?
19-year-old me had imagined they'd all left with a mission. A unified purpose. They hadn't. They were, in fact, every bit as fractured as the people that still live here. Most of them had left tracking escaped mystics. Some claimed to be researchers, others little more than hunters. All 5, completely useless to me.
Even your own parents?
Eventually, I returned to Tangle Tower. I had nowhere else to go. I considered giving up. But instead, I made a decision.
A lowly entomologist.
There was only one person at Tangle Tower still of interest to me. My dear Uncle Pointer had suddenly made a show of taking up astronomy. A fairly superficial charade. I don't think many people were fooled by it. But I knew it wasn't just a falsehood. It was a mask. Pointer had found something from the era of Misted Mansion.
Golden beetle?
So where did he get the beetle?
I cannot be sure. But I theorize that he received it in the post.
In the post? From who?
Who can say? Someone outside Tangle Tower. But the thought that he would be in contact with such a person all that time...
Letters, what do you mean she's murdered so many people? What other people has she murdered? Wait. Are you implying that she murdered the other family members too? Or are we saying something else? She murdered? Is that what she said? My brain missed that. Fuck.
Decided to take what was owed to me.
So you stole it.
Stealing the beetle turned out to be only the first step. Upon realizing it was gone, Pointer made little effort to disguise his frustration. I asked what was bothering him. He foresaw no risk in sharing a little of the truth with his niece. He told me he'd lost a rare treasure, something he'd been keeping safe. I suggested, innocently, that perhaps it was not lost. Perhaps it had been stolen. He was very ready to believe he'd been the victim of theft. When I offered to call in a private detective, he jumped on the idea. She arrived the next day. Hawkshaw prides herself on her punctuality, as you know.
Why, though? Why go through all that? The name, the costume, and everything?
It's somewhat sad to admit, but I had little use left for Penny Pointer as she was. Hawkshaw afforded me new advantages, opportunities.
But didn't you have to pretend to be working for Professor Pointer?
Well, that was one of the advantages. Pointer was in such a desperate state, he was finally willing to share some of his secrets. On the second day, Hawkshaw explained she needed to be able to search the secret laboratory. Pointer gave in and gave me the code for the harp statue. Reluctantly, but still.
So, you stole Pointer's research?
I would have done, if I'd found anything worth stealing. But he had made remarkably little progress, barely scratching the surface of the beetle's true mystery.
Which is?
It carries an exoskeleton approximately 90% identical to gold. But it's not the 90% I'm interested in.
It's the 10%?
Did you ever question what exactly makes the water here so unique? Before Misted Mansion was built over the lake, before the lake was even a lake, Lord Remington and his wife built a small structure here, a research station, supposedly. Fast forward 2 or 3 generations, And as you saw for yourself, it's been mostly cleared out.
The ambassadors took everything when they left.
And everything they didn't take was burned in the incinerator. However, possessing additional insight, I found something the others had missed. It's not much, but I have what I need.
So, why isn't this the end of the story? Why did you stay? Why did you kill Freya?
So she found out. The will of Freya Fellow. Anyway, holy fuck. I'm a little I guess because I don't know why she has eyeshadow on a different side, though. I get what they're going for, but I just don't know why it's on a different side. Anyway. Oh, interesting. Now I'll get her, I assume maybe was actually referring to Freya the whole time. How interesting. Will of Freya Fellow.
Simply put, Freya was too good for me. It's my fault. I pushed her over the edge, unknowingly, but still, I take the blame.
What are you talking about?
Did you know I based the design for Hawkshaw on something Freya painted?
I see. Yeah, on her big photo.
That's right. I had assumed it was purely abstract. I just thought it had a good energy. I later discovered it was a figure of some kind, something from Freya's recurring nightmare. For all her vitality, I think Freya was probably the most troubled of all of us. She was desperate to leave Tangle Tower, but she couldn't just walk away. For quite some time, she'd been trying to break into Pointer's laboratory. Freya and her friends were halfway through deciphering those symbols on the harp statue, I believe.
Why did she care about getting into Pointer's lab?
That's exactly what I wondered. At first, I thought perhaps she just wanted to free the beetles. She has a fondness for them. What Pointer was doing upset her significantly. But in fact, I think it was something else. I think she wanted to free Fiona. The real reason Freya was unable to leave Tangle Tower is that she could not get Fiona to agree to come with her. We're now firmly in the realm of speculation, but I think Freya felt that exposing the darker secrets of Tangle Tower, not just to the rest of the family, but to the world, would compromise all three families, and perhaps, somehow, free Fiona from the shackles of her inheritance. That was her plan anyway, but something happened before Freya could find her way into Pointer's laboratory.
She found her way into your study, found your notes, found that photograph. I'm willing to bet she put it all together quicker than we did.
Yeah.
So she worked out what had happened to the 5 ambassadors. Specifically, what you'd done to them when they refused to help you.
Freya had made a promise to paint Flora as a birthday gift, a parting gift no less. She'd be in a locked room, several hours away from her friends. It was my best chance.
But why hide in the attic? And why bother with the beetle at all?
The beetle in the gramophone wasn't for Freya. It was for Flora. She didn't deserve to be involved. She suffered enough. I couldn't get Flora out of her room, but if she could be unconscious, then she wouldn't have to witness anything.
Why the knife? The illusion of the painted knife with the blood.
That was for Fiona. And Poppy too, I suppose. Gave them something to focus on.
You mean it distracted them while you made your escape?
It helped them cope. The very idea of something abstract, something supernatural. I believe it made things marginally less painful for them, initially. Worked on you, too.
So why are you still here? Why not take your first chance and leave?
Well, I've been waiting for an opportunity to get my beetle back. I'd really rather not leave without it.
Wait, it's still here?
It's still inside the gramophone.
Hi, Birdie. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. All right.
What's going on?
Poppy, they are both awake.
I can see.
You two, all right?
My head hurts. What happened to us?
You were both unconscious. 14 minutes by my count.
Really?
You're both fine. No injuries.
Was it the beetle? In the gramophone? I heard it through the ceiling in my room.
The exact same sound we heard before the murder.
I guess it must have been.
So how did we get down here? What happened to Penny?
Fitz saved both of you, obviously.
When I reached Flora's tower, you were both unconscious, and Penny was crouched down beside you. She had her crossbow on her, but who knows? She may have just been checking you were both asleep.
Did you know that she was the murderer?
Poppy and Fifi suspected her. Apparently, they were pretty close to solving it themselves.
Fitz did not want to believe us, because he liked Penny. A lot.
But what happened? Fitz, what did she do when she saw you?
She jumped out the window.
What? Did she survive?
She did.
I heard something land in the garden outside my room, but by the time I got out there to check, she was already gone.
Hang
Not
on.
the cradling of the
Poppy,
hat.
why do you have Penny's hat bird?
She left him behind. I found him sitting on the floor in the aviary, all by himself. Poor little thing. The mean lady didn't care about you at all, did she? No, she didn't.
I apologize. Poppy seems to be under the illusion that the bird can understand human language.
So, Penny got away.
I'm afraid she did.
We had suspected she might try to escape. I was stationed here by the lake's edge. I proved to be an ineffective guard. She took the boat.
Did she take the beetle with her?
Oh.
Nope,
How do you know?
because it's right here.
The beetle!
It was still in the gramophone. I guess I scared her off before she had a chance to take it.
Poppy, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to give it back to your father?
No, I'm not. It doesn't belong to anyone. So, I'm going to put it on the ground and never bother it again. I think that's what she would have wanted.
I only have one question. How was Penny flip-flopping between these outfits so fast? Those are whole looks. Those are whole looks and whole entire... Also, places that she's running back and forth to. How did she... I was like... And then how did she go from... Because, like, I absolutely... Like, I picked up on that. I picked up on the fact that there was the Hawkshaw interaction, and then that Penny's the only one who nobody said that they saw her coming down the stairs. All of that. But then... she left the room, and I guess quickly switched outfits to go... Goodbye, Beetle. Bye. Bye. Complete the game. Alright. I guess she ran downstairs and just changed. I thought she left with someone, though. Oh yeah, give me the beautiful art. Here the fucker. Let's go see some art together. She threw off her wig and cloak and go to the tower after Pointer saw her. I guess so. Well, no, that I understand. No. I want to be clear. That I fully understand. It's the coming back downstairs that I don't understand. Because I thought that Penny had left with someone and that eventually, like, Fitz saw Hawkshaw outside. So I'm more just wondering, because I guess Pointer and Penny, they just, like, went back to their room. So I guess, like, once he left, she just ran back downstairs. But I just felt like, it just feels like a very quick change. But I don't know. I'm getting into semantics. Anyway, let's go get some art together. Grimoire is tricky to get right, as he needs to be a flexible mix of silly and heroic, lighthearted and dramatic. He has a somewhat pretentious manner, projecting the persona of someone more experienced than he actually is. Importantly, he cannot be totally sincere when he wants to be. He can be totally sincere when he wants to be. Adam. Oh, yes, I see. Okay. One of the challenges of Grimoire's design is his color palette. Brown, brown, and brown. He doesn't need to be super colorful character. In fact, it's important to have contrast between the different characters. Still, look closely and you'll notice he is actually comprised of various pinks masquerading as browns. That is an important art trick. It's true. Oh, this jaw's hilarious. Detective Grimoire was probably one of the more difficult characters to develop, as there was already a strong identity that existed in the previous games. I felt like he still needed to be friendly and approachable gumshoe, so I tried to stick to round, gentle shapes while still exaggerating his features. I wanted to work towards an iconic silhouette by Catherine. I wanted to really make sure I had a good grasp on how Grimoire would look from different angles before I tackled his animation. He's got a bit of a penchant for performance and overwrought gestures, and I think a lot of his personality comes out of his movements. That said, I never want to draw his bouncing hair again. Jonathan. Various pinks as browns, exactly. My fur is the same way. Sally appeared in the previous game with her hair down and back in a long plait. However, when redesigning her for this game, I quickly realized this made for a really cluttered silhouette, so changed it to the bunches. A key aspect of Sally's face is her eyeshadow, accentuating her slightly unimpressed default facial expression. I like characters who wear those little jackets. To me, they give off modern, adventurous energy, so I thought it would be a really good outfit for Sally. Sally's personality expanded for this game. Her starting point is slightly bored, but just beneath the surface, she has a great deal of passion for detective work and life in general. Ooh. These drawings show Sally. Oh yeah, I do remember this from the first game, yeah. These drawings for Sally, still wearing her hair from the style of the previous game, although Catherine has already started looking for ways to give her a stronger silhouette. These are designs from a much older version of the game, long before it became Tangle Tower. You can see how both Sally and Grimoire are about halfway towards their Tangle Tower redesigns. An early story idea was to include the little girl in the team. Obviously, we changed our minds. Sally was a tricky one to get right. She tends to understate her actions, but she isn't above throwing in a little bit of pretentiousness. I like to think she's mocking how Grimoire indulges in theatrical gestures. I think the payoff is worth the effort, though, as she is one of the characters whose animations I'm most pleased with. My wife. Beautiful. I found the right shape for Flora really early on, and she set the tone for how weird the character designs would be. How far we could stretch them away from the typical human anatomy. Flora wears a simple black dress with absolutely no details at all. In fact, she exists entirely in monochrome, which hints at the bleak and mournful world in which she inhabits. Nope, wrong button. Since Flora was a very quiet and reserved character, I felt like I wanted to show that in her design too. Adam's original sketches of her were very inspiring, and we didn't really move far from them. I really wanted to explore Flora's warm side, as her character felt quite steely and ghost-like. Flora is an incredibly rigid character with minimal movement and poses. I really wanted to figure out a way to give her more energy and variety without losing that stoic appearance, including small hand gestures. I made a particular sketch with her hair flowing in the wind, and this became a great way to make her more animated. I love the hair animation. It's one of my favorites. Flora moves less than anyone, but her one big animation is definitely the heaviest in the whole game. Thankfully, I'm a real sucker for flapping hair and fabric, so I relished an excuse to go all out and make a really good character designing. Please go talk to her as much as possible so you can see it again and again. Oh, I certainly did. Oh, delicious. Felix. Our main idea with Felix was that he still stubbornly wears his adventurer outfit even though he's stuck indoors. I wanted Felix to look powerful but somewhat gone to seed with rage. Early on, he was a sailor and he had a lot more nautical elements in his design. Ooh, Pompadour Man! This design for Felix was very nearly made it into the final game. We thought the big pompadour was fun since it looks like a wave or the hull of a ship. Then one day I decided I didn't really like his face, so I totally changed it. Fun fact, Felix's dark green trousers are based on my own favorite trousers. Adam. Oh my god, Jesus. Felix is a washed-up old explorer, so I wanted to first understand what he may have looked like in his youthful prime, and what the older Felix may be trying to hold on to. I referenced good-looking actors from old adventure movies, slick hair, chiseled jawline, and arching eyebrows. I enjoyed aging him up from this. Felix always had a nautical theme from the start, so I experimented with old sailor tattoos that could potentially animate during dialogue scenes. This was a little out of the scope in the end, but more simplified tattoos remained a part of his final design. Felix has a tricky and very specific head shape, so I spent some time figuring it out from different angles first. He was the second character I animated, and we used him as a testing ground for a lot of the technical challenges we'd face going forward. Also, tattoos are really annoying to animate. True. Correct and true. Fifi was initially conceived as a character who would remain sitting down while you talked to her. I figured it would be fun to have her fiddle with her microscope or organize papers on her desk. Eventually I changed my mind, but perhaps this is why Fifi is so short. Fifi's eyes ended up on the sides of her head. Combined with the shape of her hair, I always thought this made her look a bit like a rhinoceros. Jesus Christ. Fifi's eye lens was going to have an elaborate telescopic zoom function, but this kind of gimmick has a habit of getting cut from the game. Ooh. Lenses and microscopes were a big facet in Fifi's character, so it felt natural to incorporate that with her design, giving her a large lens to wear over one eye. It lent itself well to her looking like an eccentric inventor. Her hair is large and outgrown, tied half-heartedly into a bun. She doesn't care too much for her appearance. Fifi's big baggy sleeves became quite a dominant feature of her design, as I wanted to add a sloppy childlike quality to her to make her look less professional looking. That's how the gag of her storing items in her lab coat started to appear. Fifi was the first character I animated, as we knew she was going to be quite limited in her movements. For example, Adam mandated that she doesn't turn her head on her shoulders. She doesn't turn her head on her shoulders. She's not one for theatrics. That said, we planned for some fun animations with the beaker, but they didn't really fit anywhere, so we omitted them. Hawkshaw. The point of Hawkshaw initially is to provide a contrast with Grimoire. Where Grimoire is friendly, open, and emotionally reactive, Hawkshaw is blunt, stern, and emotionally closed off. As a detective, Hawkshaw is a perfectionist, so her design is all sharp angles and clean lines. She never wastes an energy, even keeping her arms hidden under her cloak unless she needs them. Detective Grimoire's much more accomplished rival, Hawkshaw, is the polar opposite to him, stern, incredibly smart, and professionally intimidating. I imagined her turning her nose up at Grimoire like she was too good for his company. She uses snappy movements that feel almost mechanically efficient. Everything about Hawkshaw is sharp and correct. The long buttoned-up neck came from a defining feature for Hawkshaw, making her seem upright, uptight, and rigid. As Hawkshaw developed, she started to look more and more like a villain from a 90s cartoon, and we were okay with that. I can't imagine why you would be okay with that. Hawkshaw's cape was a great excuse for me to flex my fabric animating muscle. I love contrasting her stiff neck and shoulder piece with the billowing cloak. Her poses in-game seem quite limited when you compare them to each other, but I think they do a lot of work in bringing across her haughty, confident personality. Whoa, okay. The specifics of Freya's character took a while to emerge, but from the earliest point I knew I wanted her to be an open-minded and a bit of a hippie. Freya exists in a slightly different space from the other inhabitants. She's very aware of the wider world outside the house. This makes her something of an outsider, even though she is very popular within Tangle Tower. Oh, wow. Fitz was... Oh, I went to the next character, that's why. I kept pressing the wrong button. Freya wears a white dress to suggest the purity of her soul. Importantly, it's spattered with color from her paint, suggesting she's not afraid of making a mess and going against convention. In the final design, her dress became more of a tunic, with a high-waisted belt and long sleeves. I like to think this makes Freya look a bit like a wizard. A curious, brave little painter. When I made concepts, I didn't want a stereotypical depiction of an artist, but I couldn't resist the paint splodges. I based her initial sketches off Bohemian art studies I used to have when I was studying art. Eventually, we needed her to feel younger, so this effect became more subtle. At one point, I tried giving her a paint blob-like bun, but in the end, this felt too close to Fifi's hairstyle. It was important that all three of the younger girls of Tangle Tower felt visually different. We tried out a green bob and it stuck. I never ended up doing any animation of Freya, but I drew these because she's actually one of my favorite character designs in the game. As I'm sure you'll find out, there's a good deal more to her than just murder victim. God damn, Fitz, alright. Fitz was conceived as an insect character, butterflies in particular. Later on, he became a gardening character, which is similarly associated with someone quiet and delicate. I wanted Fitz to be super handsome and cool, but in an incidental way. He contrasts with Felix and Pointer in that he has a very subdued ego. Catherine and I really enjoyed the image of a big, muscular man using tiny gardening tools. However, none of these poses made it into the final game. Fitz kept his little glasses right up into production, but after I received Joss Chomar's excellent voice samples, I realized Fitz was becoming more emotionally vulnerable, so I took the glasses away. That's interesting. Fitz was described to me by Adam as someone who was accidentally good-looking. I started to think about the poster boys from boy bands in the 90s, and I knew I had to try out some classic curtained hair on him. I made Fitz overly muscular because I love the idea of him seeming like this gentle giant who was intimidatingly large and potentially threatening. When Fitz had glasses, I had a lot of fun imagining him lurking in the shadows, his round cold spectacles staring back at you. I think there are probably more drawings of Fitz on this slide than actual frames of animation in the game. Ultimately, it worked best for him to be almost creepily static. He's a kind soul, but has trouble around people, so limiting his movements helped make him come across as tense and uncomfortable. Jesus Christ, these are wild. Pointer was conceived as a fairly traditional professor archetype, the sort of person who would have a garden shed full of half-finished inventions. At this stage in the process, I wasn't sure what kinds of shapes to use. I just knew I wanted Pointer to be short and spindly, so that his physicality would contrast with that of his rival, Felix Fellow. By this point, we had landed on the idea of Pointer being a spaced-out astronomy professor with an airy, philosophical manner. He was given large eyes for staring into space and long arms for making sweeping gestures. His hair is designed to resemble a book, and a roof and a bad wig all at the same time. Ooh. An academical-looking astronomer with a faraway look in his eyes. He's hiding a few secrets, so I wanted him to seem distrusting and slightly slimy. Mission accomplished. I also imagined someone who looked like he may lecture at a British university, so a lot of tweed clothes. I even tried hair that looked like a book resting on his head. As an astronomer, I envisioned Pointer rapidly tinkering around with his many mechanical apparatuses, and I started to think about how his fingers could seem as clickety-clackety as his equipment. I love the idea of his fingers feeling spider-like, adding to his creepy undertones. Pointer is probably the character who's most similar to me, and I love drawing his kooky, pretentious arm waves. The globe was going to be a prop, but this was one of the several things we just couldn't fit, that just didn't fit and got left out. Also, that thing on his head, hair, a book, a birdhouse roof, it is a mystery. Ooh. I thought it would be fun if Penny had multiple birds about her person, with whom she can speak to during conversations with Grimoire, perhaps even interrupting her mid-sentence. This eventually boiled down to the one bird on her head, and instead of talking to it, the joke became that Penny simply treats it as if it were a normal hat. Penny is a complex character. At this stage in the design process, I was focused on her duality as both a cool, elegant femme fatale and a pouty, petulant young woman. Penny's outfit is quite simple, inspired by her 1950s fashion. However, her giant bird gloves accentuate any gestures she has chosen to make with her arms, giving her an inescapably melodramatic and hammy energy. Penny is Tangle Tower's femme fatale, so we really lent into that. I imagined her as a very glamorous and privileged woman from the 1950s. A lot of her style is reminiscent of that period. As the bird-themed character, Adam originally designed her to have a bird in her hair, which then I styled onto her like a very fancy hat. I love the idea that Penny could be composed, but drop the facade and become sinister. There is a sketch of her reading a book surrounded by birds and then slamming the book mid-sentence, scaring them away. Penny has ended up being a real fan favorite. I like to think that my animations plays a part in that. She's probably the most emotive of the cast, so bringing that out of her animations was really important. Her weird wing arm sleeve things were a challenge to move convincingly, but I think it was worth it. My first concept for Poppy was someone who doesn't really want to talk to you. Instead, she resolutely faces her piano, protected by the shroud of her hair that falls all the way to the floor. All this adds up to give a ghostly appearance, and by extension, Poppy's music room became something you might find in a haunted mansion. I spent a while trying to find the right shapes for Poppy's head and face. For some reason, the moment it began to work for me was when I gave her the little snake-like noose. Snake-like noose? Where? Drugs. A crucial detail of Poppy's design is the single ear poking out, which I think gives it a little bit of a much-needed humanity and vulnerability. Since Poppy was a shy, grungy, gothic teenager, I started with sketches of her as a mopey, badly postured, and very purple. Adam's original sketches included really long hair, and I liked that it felt like gravity was pulling her downward. The hair started to look like a thick curtain, which felt appropriate for her gothic theming. Oh, snake-like nose. I don't know why I wrote it as a noose. I'm sorry. Poppy's poses always centered around sitting at the piano, so to try to bring some more personality to her, I played with the idea of her long locks could be used in inventive ways. Since she's so reserved, I imagined she would use her hair as a device to veil herself from other people, rarely ever revealing herself. Ooh. Poppy was simultaneously one of my favorite and least favorite characters to draw, as her hair was a great fun to animate but also took absolutely ages. It was very important to me that it have the right weight and softness to it. Also, I referenced some actual video of a piano player who plays her theme for a particular animation. Oh my god, there's so many. Hang on. Okay. I imagined Freya being given the short straw and was tucked away in the boiler room, so she had to make do with what she had. What resulted was an intimate industrial space that Freya manages to bring a lot of warmth and creativity to. Since you never meet Freya, it was a great way to deliver some of her personality. Despite the lack of natural light, I think Freya's room is one of the nicest spaces in all of Tangle Tower. The large, ominous painting leaning against the wall suggests Freya is someone who is troubled, but willing to look at her anxieties in the face. Fifi has the biggest room in the house, but she doesn't care for it. I imagined an untidy-looking Victorian lab, where she could conduct her experiments. I later added elements of that would point to her being more of a messy teenager. Mattress on the floor, empty cans of soda, and papers stuck to the windows. The key to this room is the juxtaposition between the chandelier, not pictured, hanging above the messy mattress on the floor. The idea was to hint at how Fifi isn't especially keen to rise to her position within the household. She'd rather just be a teenager. At first, this room was set higher in Tangle Tower, and I imagined a sophisticated, ornate attic space. Taxidermy played a huge role in decorating. After all, the people who use this room are avid collectors. We wanted this chamber to feel darker and more hidden. When we made the decision to add an aquarium through the center of the mansion, it added a whole new feel to the room. A windowless room with the only real source of light coming from the tube of water really added to the creepy atmosphere. Thematically, we needed a study to be a mix of elements: an ornate gentleman's study, a research lab, a private taxidermy collection. The chains and iron cages tip it over the edge into feeling fully sinister. I originally designed Penny's room to look like it belonged to someone elegant, aristocratic, and also a bit of a fairy tale princess. Initially, we were going to include a secret doorway through the fireplace, but we decided to change it. I wanted Penny's room to feel purposely romantic, and I went as far as having a cherry blossom branch come through the window. We imagined that Penny was constantly traveling, so piles of suitcases became a key visual in her room. Your wife again. This layout image shows an earlier version of the puzzle in this room. It was originally connected to the suitcase tucked under her bed. Later, we had the idea for the birdhouse puzzle, and that suitcase was swapped out for the little tea set, where Penny sits and drinks tea with her birds. A giant birdcage attached to the side of Tangle Tower that serves as an aviary. This meant designing an interior space that was more circular structurally. This is somewhere Penny spends a lot of time, so it only felt right that the space should feel elegant. The aviary is a strange room in a sense that it is both an outdoor and indoor elements. I worked on blending those elements visually, having gutters for rainwater to escape and frames on the walls to keep it from feeling domesticated at the same time. Sometime after creating this layout image was created, we decided to add both the mirror and the writing desk to the aviary. The idea was to make it feel more lived in, like you could imagine Penny spending most of her time in here. This is where you would find Fifi studying away. I had some early ideas of a grand library with so many books that some would be suspended off the ceiling. I like the idea of a huge round window that would pull our focus towards it. We eventually scaled down, but I kept the big window. This library is a shared space, but it's also Fifi's haven, in which she has created a little space for herself. Her science experiments and test tubes spill out into the ordinary-looking library. One of the challenges of writing dialogue for the library was coming up with various excuses as to why Grimoire and Sally don't read any of the books. There were also some story hints hidden in this room. For instance, someone has taken all the insects books off the shelves. I did notice that. Very early on in development, we visited Leighton House, London, which had influence on the feel of the mansion. Very overly embellished room felt unapologetically different from the next, and one side of the house felt completely different from the other side. The staircases give an early idea of the differences between the two families. The wooden, down-to-earth staircase of the Fellows and the ornate, sophisticated stairway to the Pointer Tower. The fireplace wedged between the two is actually very important later in the game. It's very beautiful, and I think the Grand Hall is perhaps the most normal room in Tangle Tower, in a good way. As you enter this neutral space, you think, oh yeah, classic murder mystery in a big mansion. Got it. It gives the particular eccentricities of the other rooms something to contrast with. Very early on oh, that's the same one. We knew from the start that this would be where you first encounter Poppy, hauntingly playing her piano. I imagined a trail of discarded music sheets that would lead you to her. I felt like her piano could be this messy little workspace reminiscent of Beethoven's. The room is heavy and draped into matching Poppy's vibe. A big theme of the Tangle Tower building is the idea of nature taking over and creeping in, covering the ceiling with foliage added to that suppressive feeling. I love the idea of Poppy looking at like a specter silhouetted against the bright windows. My favorite detail of the music room is the moss and foliage along the ceiling. It gives the room a little mystical forest ambiance. In real life, plants growing through the ceiling like that would probably be a problem. Much like everything else in this game, I really didn't want this greenhouse to feel stereotypical. Instead, I started thinking about being more fun, like growing like a giant glowing terrarium. This fucking face. That's a fruit. The main... Oh, that's... I didn't glue it. Look at this asshole. I based the interior on Victorian greenhouses, much like the ones you would find in Kew Gardens. We knew before sketching that this greenhouse would be unique because of the strange plant life. I wanted to push the dense shadowiness so I could feel like someone or something could easily hide inside. Despite all the wonderful plants, my favorite thing about the greenhouse is actually the tiled floor. It really ties the room together. The main feature of this garden was that it contained a secret door that would be found somewhere later in the game. The door had to be hidden in plain sight and not give away its existence too early on. I sketched a few possible options, mostly involving garden ornaments, but most of it felt convoluted. I really like the idea of this location having a dual purpose. I experimented with the composition, switching focus simply with the changing of lighting. At the beginning of the game, the pathway leads your eye through the mansion, but later in the game, the lighting changes to bring the focus to a secret door. The stone square is where you first meet Hawkshaw. We wanted her presence to feel disconnected from the house, but still very official. I really like the idea of Hawkshaw having a mobile office and a handy desk that could open up within a suitcase. A wonderful rough painting of the stone square by Catherine. I like how this view of the stone square shows other areas, the gardens on the left, the main entrance in the back, and the greenhouse on the right. We needed a neutral location where Detective Hawkshaw could set up her office without being in anyone's way. She isn't native to Tangle Tower, so we thought she could be outside the main building. The mobile trunk desk thing is very convenient, unless it were to rain, I suppose. The goal of this location was to introduce players to the unique setting of the game. The water has special qualities, and we wanted to sell that idea visually. When creating it, I was thinking about iridescent oil and swirling marble lakes. Even though Tangle Tower is isolated on a very small island on a lake, I wanted players to start off with a little way away from the building itself. That way, there's a buildup of anticipation as they approach the house and the crime. I wanted the front door of the mansion to feel strange, much like the rest of the tower. The door started out looking somewhat Art Nouveau, but I felt like it wasn't grand or inviting enough. After looking at a bunch of themed haunted mansions, I tried out a round archway and it made the door more impactful. I really liked the contrast of this ornate, homely front door that was surrounded by giant tree roots and moss, almost like some sort of undiscovered temple. The main entrance was one of the areas we returned to later on, and to add more points of interest. For instance, you can see this layout drawing doesn't yet include the statue of Lord Leamington. This room is the simplest room in the whole house, to reflect Fitz's character. He spends most of his energy and time in the greenhouse, so he pays little attention to his living quarters. It was quite difficult to make this room visually appealing without adding anything. Originally, we wanted to include a shrine to Penny in Fitz's room, and for it to be the only area of warmth and color in his space, representative of his real-life relationship with her. We later substituted this for a single card from Penny that he displays on his shelf fondly, next to one of his plants. The concept of a room with virtually nothing in it made for a couple of fun lines of dialogue between Grimoire and Sally. In some abstract way, Grimoire is vaguely aware that he's playing through an adventure game, and he is baffled to find a room with nothing to examine. I knew this bedroom had to belong to a gothic, reclusive, angsty teenager. I wanted to include a lot of pagan imagery, but didn't want to use any symbols that meant anything specific. Most of the iconography is a vague nod to that theme. He's so down bad for a bit. Cue giant gothic ornate bed. It felt right for Poppy's bed to be as dramatic as she is. I included a thick heavy curtain in the drapes mirroring her long hair. The octopus chandelier was meant to have 8 arms, but I made a mistake when drawing the final image and it gave Adam an idea for a joke in the script. Poppy's room is my favorite location in the game. Catherine did such an amazing job designing it, and it goes especially well with Poppy's music by Raphael Benjamin Mayer. I started sketching dioramas of an adventurer's bedroom since I knew this room would have many oddities and collected treasures. I wanted every aspect of the room to feel unique, including the light fittings. Fun fact, the giant pufferfish lamp was based on real-life lamp found in the Pitts Rivers Museum in Oxford, England. Since Felix spends his time reminiscing about his adventures, I thought it felt appropriate for his room to be the hull of an upside-down ship. You can even see it poking out of the side of the Tangle Tower building. The sheer number of objects in this room might make it seem like it might be hiding hundreds of clues. However, most of the objects are just random trinkets collected by Felix. Almost all of them spark dialogue between Grimoire and Sally, though. A romantic setting nestled between 2 of the residents' bedrooms. It's a secret meeting spot between Pointer and fellow towers. There's something of a Romeo and Juliet theme going on, so I included a lot of romantic visuals and iconography. It was very inspired by 18th century Rococo paintings. This layout image features a giant stone bat in the mouth of the stream instead of the giant stone frog that eventually became. A unique feature of this area that it doesn't play any background music, just the ambient sound designed by Callum Bowen. For a little while, Pointer had a telescope so big that he would have to climb up a small tower to reach it. As elements of the story developed, we felt like a much smaller telescope would be more appropriate to Pointer's character. This room mirrors Flora's room because it sits on the top of the towers, hence its round structure. I enjoyed theming this room a lot. Church murals inspired by starry night ceilings covered the constellations. The larger window of the astronomer's tower ceiling suggests perhaps at one time this room was home to a much larger and more impressive equipment. For story reasons, it was important that the desk in the corner looked suspiciously neat and tidy. We knew we wanted this place to have a different tone to the rest of the game, as it's quite a pivotal moment in the narrative. I wanted to feel moody, uncomfortable, but also exciting to explore. I really liked the visual of candlelight highlighting the giant carcasses of insects because it looked so creepy and alien. When we initially had the idea for the secret laboratory, there were 3 rooms dedicated to researching different aspects of the ecosystem: bugs, plants, and water. We realized this felt a little unnecessary, and in the end we folded all of those elements into one single room. Some concepts for a plant lab, a room that was eventually merged with the insect lab. The scene of the crime. Flora's room is set on top of a fellow tower. I was keen to get some eerie symbolism in there, and I love the idea of adding an eye to the ceiling gazing down at the murder, as if the tower itself knows the truth. There are many important things to examine in this room as we put a lot of thought into where things would be placed, making sure everything was balanced. We opted for a dreary, washed-out palette for this room, not only to match Flora's bleak Miss Havisham vibes, but also so it felt like the life has been somewhat sucked out from it. Flora's tower was the most important room to get right. We spent a long time tweaking the elements, considering how the player might explore the room, what they'd examine first, what they might miss, etc. The drapes were supposed to be blowing in the wind, but we never got it to work properly. A minimal room with a huge window that opens out to the lake floor. This room had to feel odd, as this was the first part of Tangle Tower that was built a very long time ago. There was going to be a huge puzzle game in here involving multiple levels of the mansion, but it never happened. Everything about this room suggests years of disuse, except for the single candle, which is inexplicably lit. I wanted this room to feel threatening and a place where you'd feel like something bad happened, something you weren't meant to see. As for a foreboding red palette and freakish shadow figures added to that feeling of discomfort. The idea of framing a room with a large silhouette and foreground objects, in this case the stuffed werewolf, was inspired by the art from classic 1990s adventure games. It's a good way to make a room feel claustrophobic. And I think that's back around to the top? Yes. Okay, I will not be reading all of the stuff on all the clues because my throat is starting to get tired. I will click through them very fast just to go admire the art. Oh my gosh, it used to look like fish. It's very cool. Yeah, we're just gonna click through all these kind of really fast. All of the feathers. The egg. Very, very fun. Oh yeah, I see where they were going to add the scar in there. Interesting. Ripped photo. The birdies. How delicious. Oh, more photos. Ooh, look at all the gem bugs. The trowels, the diaries, the feathers. These are all clues too, I think. Board. Oh yes, from left to right, Primrose Pointer, Pandora Pointer, Buck Brackley, Richard Remington, really? Flint Fellow and Lord Fellow. How interesting. Oh, DeFeather. So sad. Yeah, it's all in here, wasn't it? Yeah. Blair, I'm assuming there's a little... That's so lovely. Alright. Anyway, before I kick myself off so I can go lay down. Anyway, what a delightful game. Certainly took quite a turn towards the end there. Just because the last game was so much more straightforward, so it definitely felt like I spent a lot of time walking around just gathering everything. And then everything else I was like, oh man, bam, 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 bam. I feel like there are, if I were to make any criticisms about it, I feel like there are some parts that maybe feel unanswered, or at least like not like answered enough where it has to be like implied information. Like, yes, I guess I can fill in the blank that like, as soon as she went back with her uncle, she quickly switched costumes and ran back outside. Though I partially wonder why. I suppose. Shrugs. But What else? I was thinking about something when I was flipping through concept art. Oh, there was something about, like, Freya made a promise to somebody, but I don't think we ever had it filled in on what that meant. Unless I'm completely clueless, which I might be. I did play this all in, like, 2 sittings, so... Oh, I guess it could be referring to Fifi, couldn't it? I guess. Drugs. But yeah, I feel like there's maybe some, like, it's kind of that feeling, and this is not a very uncommon thing in these types of stories sometimes. Frey made a promise to pay. I guess that could make sense, yeah. But it's like, there's a lot of mystery games that are kind of similar to this, where it sometimes feels like the finale part of it is a little bit rushed, I guess. It's hard to describe it. It just feels a little bit like oh, now the tower is at darkness time, and it's like I feel like I almost wish we got a chance to explore it a little bit more, or maybe just at least have some of the revealing happen just a little bit slower, because the rest of the game, like the beginning of the game, is so slow because you're just going through and you're finding things and you're talking to everybody. Did I also do everybody's... I guess I did everybody's, like, secret... I guess I would have had to, or it wouldn't have let me progress. But the, No, yeah, I did. But yeah, it felt like a bit wild that, like, it started out super slow, and then it kind of, like... It felt like it sped up a little bit too fast. Or at the very least, like, it felt like almost it was going really fast... Yeah, the first part of the game is 5 to 6 hours, and the last bit is 1 to 2 at most. Yeah, and it's like, and the last bit being everything else, in my opinion. Because, like, you guys just watch me. I've been streaming for 5 hours, and technically with the recording, I've been streaming for about, about, like, 4 hours and a half, like, 4.5 hours of just me playing the game without my fluffy ridiculousness. And in playing that was just tonight, though. And just tonight, only the last hour and a half of that was me actually doing the last couple sections of the game, from what I recall. Like, I think I actually opened the thing into the, I'd have to go back and look, but I think I opened the doorway into the basement, and I think I looked at my recording time, and it had been 40 minutes. And remember, I had stopped it earlier because I stopped it to make 2 recordings, right? So I think I looked, and when I opened the secret passage into the underground area, it had been 40 minutes, meaning that from the point where I entered, and I have to go back and double check for sure, but it means that from the point that I entered the underground area all the way up to when I finished, which was about maybe 20 minutes ago. I was reading the art things for a long time. Everything else was roughly like 1 hour and 20 minutes-ish. To 1 hour and a half, maybe. Which is a little crazy, in my opinion. And I felt like there was a lot, and then especially because a lot of the information was revealed just through Penny monologuing, which it was lovely and it was great. But again, I feel like there's just a little bit of... It just feels like maybe there's a little bit of detail. Like, I would be curious, and like, this is the part that we didn't understand. I would be curious, does Penny actually love Fitz? Or was that just a part of the character that she was playing? You know what I mean? Like, we had the whole note, and we connected the fact that the note is about her feeling jealous and protective over Fitz. But was that actually what was going on? Or was that note written and crumpled up because it actually related to somebody else? That's like the parts where I feel like I don't fully have a grasp over Penny's full character, I guess, if that makes sense. It's not that I think I don't understand her motivation. I certainly do have a grasp on the character and what they were going for with it and the why she killed Freya. That part I don't, like, misunderstand. It's more of just, like, I feel like there's a few gaps. I think she does because she states it's one of the things bringing back her tower, which I think could be true. I just wish almost that we we explored it more, I guess. But like that's being picky, and I'm sure that was not the priority of the game. The priority of the game was to get to the end and to actually have a conclusion. So, part of her bird cage, but she still loves him. Yeah. And there's certainly a lot, and so that would be my only criticism. Mainly, is just that I feel like there was it just got a little bit rushed towards the end, in my opinion. I feel like there's a little bit of conclusion that I feel like I wish could have been wrapped up a little bit nicer. And I'm also slightly, because I know we brought up the whole thing with the eyeshadow, and like I do get what Letters means about she has eyeshadow on one, like that's a lazy eye, and she was covering her lazy eye. Yes, I agree with that, and I understand that. I was more referring to that in her Penny look, she has eyeshadow on her exposed eye, and when she's Hawkshaw, both of the eyes are covered, so it doesn't matter whether you can see her eyeshadow. So I'm mostly just confused why she didn't have eyeshadow on both sides. Her having a lazy eye is fine, and I love that for her. More just I was a bit confused why she didn't have eyeshadow on that one particular eye. It just was a bit odd for me, especially if she's rapidly changing between these costumes. And also, how did she change that scar really fast? That was also a bit odd to me personally. But again, the game has a bunch of surrealism to it. There's also water that mutates animals, so like, why am I questioning whether or not she can remove a scar in 10 seconds? The point is, that's why I was wondering if maybe her sprite got flipped. Because like, that's what I didn't say before. I feel like maybe her sprite got flipped. Like the lazy eye and the scar were meant to be on the other side, so that's what was supposed to be covered up. I'd have to go back and stare because I don't think she still has the eyeshadow on that. If she still has the eyeshadow on the eye, it's now in the shadow. I know that she had shadow, but I don't think it was fully black. That's my thing, is I don't think it was like a hard black shadow where you couldn't see anything. I'm pretty sure it was just that she had like just shading on it, but you could still see it. Or see the color differences, I should say. But it's whatever. I went out, there was some sprite flipping accident. Because like that's what I feel like would make more sense to me, is if the scar was on the opposite side, so her hair covered that side, meaning she didn't have to get rid of it, or she just had a scar. And then also like it was her like lazy eye that was the exposed eye, and that's why I only had eyeshadow on one side. That would be like, but obviously you can't do that because the way the sprites are oriented, her hair has to be on one specific side. So I'm wondering if there was maybe just some like design flipping that happened or something. But also, this is an extremely nitpicky thing for me to get all into. So like, pushing that aside because I'm tired and I want to go lay down. To get back to go to my compliments. I really love how this game is structured. I love mystery games. I love detective games. I love mystery solving games. I love it very, very much. But I've been very open about, at least to my friends and like people who maybe have watched some of my old streams that I've been a part of, the thing that drives me absolutely, I'm going to stand up a little bit. This is going to help me. The thing that drives me absolutely insane with certain detective games is when it feels like the narrative is holding your hand in a vice grip and you're not allowed to solve things until the game is kind of ready for you to solve them. And then like, and that's not always bad because it's a game and they have to have some kind of level of control for that, yes. But it's more like, for example, I've talked about how like I love playing Ace Attorney with my friends. I think it might drive me up on the wall if I had to try to play all of those games by myself. There may be one exception, and it's only because I'm weirdly very, very nostalgic for it. But like, most of those games I can only tolerate with friends, because the reason why Ace Attorney games drive me insane is because I will usually have parsed together what's going on like 10 pages ago, but I have to go through like 4 hours of characters just rambling ad nauseum, and then we'll get to a question where I'm like, I don't fucking know. I know what happened, but you need me to answer this really weirdly specific question that doesn't have anything to do with how I came to my conclusion. So now I'm just confused and I don't know how to progress the game, and it's very irritating. And then also having to watch like these characters, like they talk like they're in a soap opera. It's like it's having to go through 4 hours of characters constantly going like, well, we don't know how they got into that locked room, and I'm like, I figured this out at the beginning. Like, what are we doing? I think and there's a lot of not Ace Attorney's not the only game that does that. There's plenty of games I've experienced that do that, and that is not necessarily always a flaw, because some of these games are not made for me. They are not made for someone who is obsessed with this stuff and who is constantly trying to solve the game immediately. They are sometimes made for people who are just going along with the story and are just following along. And it's also a really difficult art, because if you make a mystery too hard to solve, then it alienates people who are not super into these games and are super observant and super whatever about it. But if you make them too easy, then they can sometimes feel a little bit boring and whatever. But it's usually, I would always say, I would rather someone make it more beginner friendly rather than making it for me. So, that all being said, what I really liked about the Tangle Tower experience, and probably with the original game as well, and like this structure that they do, is that it feels like it's a bit of both. You guys saw it. There are so many times where I pieced something together either immediately or I made a connection really, really quick. And even though the game didn't let me solve it right away, I still had to wait till I had enough information to solve it in the game. What I think helped me was that the game didn't constantly harp on it. It didn't constantly remind me of all the things that I already knew the answers to, and it didn't drag it out. Once I had all the available information, it let me figure it out, and it let me punch in the answers very directly. I think the only thing I ever got stuck on for a brief moment was like the whole beetle thing, or the first thing at the beginning whenever Grimshaw was like, or Grimoire was like, the painting stabbed her, because I'm like, no, I didn't think that. That's Grimshaw. That's only him. Only him had that thought. God, and there's some really clever stuff in there, like the fact that Hawkshaw also suggested that, and it was probably because she was trying to purposefully lead us astray. That all being said, also that was the other thing. We never got a full address. That's what I was thinking of. We never got a full addressment on who gave us the crab device. Was it Freya's ghost, or was it someone else? That kind of perplexes me a little bit. I'm thinking maybe it's possible that, like, maybe Penny gave it to us. Maybe she just wanted this to be over with and just to end this. And, maybe she gave it to us. But, like, those are the things that I feel like we didn't really have good answers for that I wish we kind of did. Like, did ghosts exist or not? I want to know for future games if I need to consider that ghosts might exist. That all being said, anyway, back to my actual point. I think this balances it really well because all of these things are, for me, I can solve them pretty quick, but the game doesn't make me feel like it's dragging me. It makes me feel like I am actually actively going through and doing everything, and it rewards you for being thorough. It rewards you for paying attention to those details. Yet at the same time, I think the game is very, like, welcoming in the sense that, like, when you get to a point where you are presented with a question, there are only so many options you can punch in before you figure it out. And it obviously has a very active and present hint system to help you, like, you know, to give you a hint if you're stuck, all of that sort of thing. So, like, I appreciate that about it because I think that it helps me where it's like, I feel like I got a right answer and I feel like I figured something out, but I never felt like I was too far ahead of the characters, if that makes any sense. And I also didn't feel like I had to constantly walk around with Grimshaw in my ear talking about how he doesn't understand why such and such happened when it was blatantly obvious. Like, there's occasionally jokes of it, but it's not so frequent that it drives me insane. And again, a lot of the answers once we get there feel very straightforward, and it's answering very obvious questions that we would be able to answer. So I appreciate that about it. I think it's very good. Anyway, with that, I'm very excited for the next one. My throat is starting to hurt a little bit. I need to get some water, and I would really like to lay down. Everybody, rejoice, because I have streamed for 5 hours and 30 minutes, and my internet has given me no problems. And that is magical. So that's a big win in my book. But with that, I'm going to go ahead and end the recording and end the stream. Thank you so much for watching my little adventure into Tangle Tower. Very excited for the next game. I will either play it on stream or I might just play it with my friends. Who knows? Just depends when we're available or whatever. But we'll get there when they get there. I'll hopefully find a day to stream next week. I want to keep trying to stream at least once a week and figuring that out. I don't know what I'll stream, but we'll figure it out. And I just want to see if I can keep getting consistent streams or figuring out how that works. But yes, I have more thoughts, but I will share them with letters at some point. But I hope you all had a fun time, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye!